Chapter 2520 Martial God's Secret. Zhu Long was speechless. After a while, he said, "In fact, we've already obtained 7 fruits. 5 is enough for me to heal my injuries." However, in the ancient war, many experts of the heaven realm were seriously injured and their life essence was damaged. It has been so many years that they can't recover. These fruits of life can be given to them. This way, the strength of the heaven realm can be greatly improved. Then it's all up to Senior. Lu Ming said. He gave these fruits of life to Zhu Long for the same reason. Lu Ming, you've done a great service for the heaven realm this time. If you have any requests, just tell us. Zhu Long smiled. Senior, I really do have a question to ask. What is 10,000 yuan returned to 1? Lu Ming asked. 10,000 yuan returned to 1. Zhu Long sized Lu Ming up and asked, Your cultivation has already reached this stage, right? Show it to me. All right. Lu Ming nodded. His muscles trembled and his qi and blood churned like a dragon. His aura was shocking. This was the power of the physical body. Then, his body glowed with a dazzling purple gold light. Lu Ming's Tao of domination was unleashed to the extreme. Good, good, good. The ancestral dragon's face was filled with excitement and he said, good, 3 times. He could sense that Lu Ming's cultivation was extremely powerful. Now that he had confirmed it, he could not hide his excitement. His physical body was a peak heavenly emperor, and his Tao of domination had also reached an astonishing level. It was simply a miracle that he was so young. He understood that he had underestimated Lu Ming. Lu Ming had most likely obtained unimaginable opportunities in this trip to the netherworld world. However, the stronger Lu Ming was, the better it was for the heaven realm. He was happier. Lu Ming, you must have reached a bottleneck in your cultivation. Zhu Long asked. That's right, please give me some pointers, Senior. Lu Ming nodded. Yes. The next step in your path of the physical body is the martial god realm. If you want to break through to the martial god realm, you must have some understanding of this realm. The martial god realm is different from all the realms before the martial god realm. The martial god realm is known as a god, but it has actually reached another realm. Before the martial god realm, you can say that it is the first step of cultivation. When you reach the peak of the heavenly emperor realm, you have completed the first step. The martial god realm is the second step of cultivation. Zhu Long explained in detail. Lu Ming listened attentively and was shocked at the same time. The training before becoming a martial god was only the first step. Becoming a martial god was the second step. Didn't that mean that the second step of cultivation also had many realms? The martial god realm is very special. It mainly cultivates divine power. Zhu Long said. Shen power? Lu Ming was puzzled. He thought of the power used by the ancestral dragon and the divine ancestor of the non-human race. It was extremely powerful. Was that divine power? Yes, Shen power. But if you want to cultivate Shen power, you have to fuse 10,000 elements into one. What is Lu elements returned to one? It means to mix and merge all powers together, such as laws, wills, great Taos, heavenly Tao, divine arts, physical power, world power, and so on. No matter what power or system you cultivate, in the end, you have to merge all of them together and transform them into a higher level power, which is divine power. Only by reaching this step can one step into the martial god realm. In fact, the so-called unrivaled powerhouses, or demigods, have already reached this step. They have already fused Lu elements into one and ignited a wisp of divine fire in their bodies. Zhu Long said. Everything must be united. Then, the small world in my body. Lu Ming asked in shock. Everything must be combined into one and transformed into divine power. Divine power is supreme and powerful. The power of the world cannot withstand a single blow from divine power. The way of the God that you're cultivating will transform into God power when you step into the martial God realm. It's an extremely terrifying divine power. Zhu Long was a little envious when he said this, but it immediately turned into a sigh. Unfortunately, it's impossible for a god to be born in this world. It's impossible to give birth to a god. What's going on? Lu Ming asked hurriedly. He felt that he was about to come into contact with some core secrets. Ow! Zhu Long sighed again. After a moment of silence, he said, the conditions of the heaven realm, primordial realm, or the evil god realm cannot support the breakthrough of a god. In other words, the conditions are too poor, and the most they can do is cultivate to the demigod realm. You can only cultivate to the demigod level. Lu Ming was at a loss for words. After a while, he asked again, then, Senior, you and the foreign race's divine ancestor, you're just curious about how we reached the martial god realm, right? That's because we're not from the heaven realm or the evil god realm. We came from the outside, and when we came, we were already in the martial god realm. Zulong said. What? This time, Lu Ming was really dumbfounded. The ancestral dragon, the divine ancestor, and the other martial gods weren't born in the heaven realm or the evil god tribe. They had come from the outside. This was beyond his expectations. Is it the desolate universe outside? Many thoughts flashed through Lu Ming's mind. He recalled some words that Bai Ye had told him. Senior, does that mean that we can go outside and break through? Lu Ming asked. Ow! Zhu Long sighed again. After a while of silence, he shook his head and said, now, we can't get out. Can't get out? Lu Ming was even more puzzled. This matter involves a lot of things, but now is not the time to tell you. I will tell you when I have the chance in the future. Zhu Long shook his head and changed the topic, therefore, it's not suitable for you to cultivate your physical body now. No matter how much you cultivate, you can only reach the demigod realm at most. It won't have a decisive effect on the overall situation. Now, you must focus on cultivating the path of domination. As long as you break through to the heavenly emperor realm, you will have the hope of fighting against a martial god. At least, you can do it in the heaven realm. Lu Ming collected his thoughts and suppressed the doubts in his heart. He said, Senior, when I cultivated the path of a ruler, I always felt that this world was blocking me. It was as if the heavenly Tao was suppressing me. I wonder what was going on. That's normal. This is because the Tao of domination is too domineering. Ancestral Dragon said, the ruler Tao can rule the world and is extremely domineering. Even outside, it is a rare power. The heaven Tao is afraid. Are you afraid? That's right. Once you break through to the heavenly emperor realm, you'll be able to rule this world with your ruler's Tao, including the heavenly Tao. That's why the heavenly Tao is afraid and wants to suppress you and prevent you from breaking through. That's why the heavenly tribulation was so powerful when you broke through to the martial supreme realm. It was the heavenly Tao that stopped you. Zhu Long explained. Lu Ming was enlightened. No wonder it was so difficult for him to break through to the martial supreme realm. The power of the heavenly tribulation was beyond his imagination. The reason was that the heavenly Tao was afraid. Lu Ming was also speechless. Chapter 2521 Dragon Sovereign Peak. If you want to make a breakthrough, you have to keep meditating on the Tao of a sovereign, so that your understanding and application of the Tao of a sovereign can become deeper and deeper. At the same time, you have to constantly improve your combat strength. When your combat strength reaches a certain level, you will be able to break through the heavenly Tao's obstruction with your powerful strength and forcefully enter the heavenly emperor realm. Zulong said. Lu Ming suddenly felt enlightened. As a martial god realm expert, Zhu Long pointed him in the right direction. In his future cultivation, he would focus on the Tao of domination and the battle formula. As long as his combat power was strong enough, he would be able to break through the heavenly Tao and step into the heavenly emperor realm. Many thanks, Senior. Lu Ming was overjoyed and thanked him. No need for thanks, Lu Ming. Now, you're the variable in this war and the hope of the Heaven Realm. The outcome of this war depends on you. Zulong said. Senior's words are too serious. Lu Ming said. It's not a serious matter. It's a fact. Now, our Heaven Realm is completely passive. The non-human divine ancestor has obtained enough fruits of life. He and sacred ancestor Bloodheart will definitely try their best to recover. Even if I fight the non-human divine ancestor with my life, he'll be able to stop me and give sacred ancestor Bloodheart some time to recover. By the time sacred ancestor Bloodheart recovers, we'll be in trouble. If I don't go fight the divine ancestor, I won't be able to stop them by myself when they recover. The other demigods won't be able to reach the martial god realm. We're in a passive position. But you're different. As long as you follow the Tao of domination and step into the heavenly emperor realm, you'll be able to dominate the power of the heavens and earth. You'll be able to fight against a martial god. Therefore, you're the hope of the Heaven Realm now. Zhu Long said a long string of words. Lu Ming also fell silent. He understood that the ancestral dragon was right. I will try my best to break through to the heavenly emperor realm. Lu Ming nodded solemnly. With the help of the fruit of life, the non-human divine ancestor Mok and I will recover in a few hundred years at most. However, Saint Ancestor Bloodheart's injuries are more serious, so he will definitely need more time. But I estimate that Saint Ancestor Bloodheart will recover in 1,000 years at most. Therefore, we only have 1,000 years left. Zulong said. 1,000 years? Lu Ming muttered and clenched his fists. He had to break through to the heavenly emperor realm within 1,000 years. Lu Ming, the path of domination is too profound. I've only heard of it in the past, but I've never seen it. I can't give you much advice, so you'll have to rely on yourself. Zulong said. I still have to thank Senior this time. Lu Ming bowed and cupped his fists. Okay. If you have any other questions in the future, you can come to me at any time. Go. Zulong said. Lu Ming turned around and left the lair of Zulong, returning to the Heaven Realm. At most 1,000 years. There's not much time left. Lu Ming muttered. The final battle would break out in 1,000 years at most. In the next 1,000 years, not only would he not be able to break through, but Lu Ming also wanted his family and friends to break through and improve their cultivation as soon as possible. Fortunately, when the catastrophe came, they would have enough power to protect themselves. Lu Ming planned to choose a good place in the Heaven Realm and gather all his family and friends together. He would pool the resources for everyone to cultivate. In fact, his current small world was already big enough. However, although it was big enough, the cultivation conditions were still incomparable to the Heaven Realm. Lu Ming left Two World City and started searching in the Heaven Realm. A few days later, Lu Ming appeared in the southern region of the Tai Ching Heavenly Region, standing on a vast mountain. This is the place. Lu Ming revealed a smile. This mountain range was extremely rich in original qi. One of the main peaks was 100,000 feet tall, piercing through the sky. Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared at the peak of the mountain. Then, with a thought, his small world appeared. Rise, go. Lu Ming shouted. In the small world, the path understanding ancient tree rose from its roots, bringing with it a large amount of soil. It flew out of the small world and landed on the peak of the mountain. As soon as it landed on the peak, the roots of the path understanding ancient tree wriggled and dug into the soil of the mountain, taking root. Lu Ming planned to plant the path understanding ancient tree here first and turn this place into a cultivation sanctuary. He would gather all his family and friends here. Now, the path understanding ancient tree was 3,000 meters tall. It covered the sky and was extremely huge. The aura of the great Tao lingered between each branch. Woo-woo. Roar. As soon as the path understanding ancient tree appeared, countless demonic beasts and strange beasts in the surrounding mountains sensed it and frantically gathered here. Get lost, go! Lu Ming shouted coldly. A terrifying aura burst out and enveloped all the mountains. It was as if a giant dragon was looking down at a group of ants. All the demonic beasts were almost scared to death and ran away. Buzz! Whoosh! Lu Ming moved and began to inscribe a large formation near the mountain range, encompassing a radius of 1,000,000 miles. Lu Ming spent a whole month before he managed to inscribe a large array. My array Dao cultivation is far from enough. In the future, I'll get Dandan to work hard and carve a large array. Lu Ming smiled. Then, he sent a message to Earth 1, Thunder 1, and the others to come over. Not long after, Earth 1, Thunder 1, and the rest arrived. In the future, you will all sit here and guard the place. Lu Ming said. Yes. Earth 1 and the rest accepted the order. Also, take these 6 weapons. 6 weapons appeared in Lu Ming's hands and he passed them to First Wind, First Fire, and the rest. What an amazing weapon. When Fire 1 and the other 6 sensed it, they were extremely shocked. This is equivalent to a Heaven Dao soldier's weapon. As long as you inject energy into it, it can be used. Lu Ming said. Lu Ming had brought out dozens of weapons of this level from Netherworld Mountain. Earth 1, Gold 1, and Thunder 1 each had a Heaven Dao soldier. Lu Ming did not give one to them, but gave one to Fire 1 and the others. Many thanks, young master. Fire 1 and the others thanked him gratefully. Then, they led the other puppets of the Primal Chaos Palace to build something in the area. Soon, huge halls and various cultivation grounds spread out with the path understanding ancient tree as the center. Next, he went to the battlefield outside Two World City and found Evil Swordsman and Jian Filiu. Evil Swordsman's origin had also been injured in the ancient battle. Lu Ming gave Evil Swordsman a life fruit, and after Evil Swordsman consumed it, his injuries healed not long after. Evil Swordsman's original cultivation was a 5-star Heavenly Emperor. Now, not only had his injuries healed, but he had also broken through and become a 6-star Heavenly Emperor. Of course, Lu Ming did not stay for long. After giving Evil Swordsman a fruit of life, he left and returned to the primordial realm. He brought the people of the Dragon Alliance and the people of Dragon God Valley to the Heaven Realm, to the new territory that he had opened up. When the people from the Dragon Alliance arrived, they suggested that this place be called the Dragon Sovereign Peak. Lu Ming did not object. Chapter 25-22, Lu Ming's face. After that, the immemorial body cultivators also brought a large number of body cultivators to the Dragon Emperor Peak to cultivate. On the other hand, Bubbles, Feng Ling, Long Chen, Ouyang Wushuang, and the others had also brought their men to the Dragon Sovereign Peak. After all, the path understanding ancient tree could not be found everywhere, especially the path understanding ancient tree that was 3,000 meters tall. The cultivation environment here was much better than many other places. Some people who were on good terms with Lu Ming and some other forces came to the Dragon Sovereign Peak to cultivate. In a short time, a large number of experts had gathered there. Lu Ming also gave out the combat weapons he had obtained from Netherworld Mountain. For example, Lu Ming gave the few heavenly emperors who cultivated the immemorial body cultivation a combat weapon that was equivalent to a heavenly Dao soldier. As for Lu Ming himself, he sat at the Dragon Sovereign Peak and cultivated in peace. Xian Yinqing, Lu Shenhuang, and the others were naturally at the Dragon Sovereign Peak as well. They were often by Li Ping and Lu Yunshan's side, so the old couple was naturally happy every day. In the blink of an eye, half a year had passed. As for the matter regarding the Dragon Emperor Peak, it had also spread out, shocking many people in the Heaven Realm. I didn't expect Lu Ming to have another path understanding ancient tree, even among the peak experts, only a few people have this. Many people in the Heaven Realm were discussing. Time flew by, and another year passed. There was no such thing as an impervious wall in this world. The news that Lu Ming had a weapon that was equivalent to a Heaven Dao soldier and that he even had a fruit of life spread. This time, it really caused a great shock in the heaven realm. Greed rose in countless people's hearts, and many powerful forces were disloyal. A few higher-ups in a powerful faction were discussing this matter. Sect Master, Lu Ming not only controls the path understanding ancient tree, but he also has a weapon at the level of a heavenly soldier. He even has a heaven-defying treasure like the fruit of life. If we can get it, our strength will definitely soar. Right, why don't we take it? A few higher-ups suggested. No, the common enemy of the heaven realm is the evil god tribe. If we attack Lu Ming, I'm afraid the ancestral dragon will not let us off. Moreover, I heard that Lu Ming has a good relationship with a few of the top 10 combat beasts. The sect master said. If we can't do it openly, we can do it secretly. We can snatch Lu Ming's treasures in secret. Someone suggested, revealing a ruthless expression. This won't do. Lu Ming has many experts around him. Not only are there the 9 heavenly emperors from the Chaos Hall, but there are also experts from the Archean body cultivators. There are unparalleled experts there. They won't be easy to deal with. The sect master said. As for Lu Ming's own ability, they were not very concerned. After all, the ancestral dragon had ordered everyone to keep the incident in Netherworld Mountain a secret. Then what should we do? Someone asked. Lu Ming is an unparalleled genius with too many powerhouses behind him. It's too risky to deal with him. We'd better observe first. It'll be best if someone takes the lead. The sect master said. It was not only this force. Many other forces did not dare to make a move in the end. They planned to observe first. For a time, there were some undercurrents in the Tai Ching heavenly region. In a courtyard at the Dragon Sovereign Peak, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were chatting. Every time Lu Ming cultivated for a period of time, he would take some time to rest and spend time with his family. Now, the news that you have a Heaven Dao soldier-level weapon and a fruit of life has spread. These are all priceless items. Aren't you afraid of being coveted by others? Xian Yanqing smiled. We're afraid. Lu Ming smiled. With their current strength, who were they afraid of? Xian Yanqing also smiled. Whoever missed him could only blame their bad luck. However, it's not good to be remembered every day. After all, we're all from the heaven realm, and we'll have to fight the enemy together in the future. It'll dispel their thoughts. Lu Ming said with a smile. A few days later, a piece of news spread throughout the Tai Ching heavenly region. 3 months later, Lu Ming would invite one of the top 10 war beasts, the 9-headed golden lion Qing Tsang, to give a lecture at the Dragon Sovereign Peak. At that time, everyone was welcome to come and listen to the lecture. The news caused an uproar in the Tai Ching heavenly region. What kind of existence was the 9-headed golden lion Qing Tsang? He was a creature that had been famous since ancient times. He had the cultivation of a peak heavenly emperor and was extremely powerful. The fact that Lu Ming was able to invite Qing Tsang to give a lecture at the Dragon Sovereign Peak was enough to show how close Lu Ming and Qing Tsang were. The powerful forces that had their eyes on Lu Ming's treasures were like a bucket of cold water that was splashed on their heads when they heard this news. They immediately dispelled the idea of attacking Lu Ming. What a joke! In the past, there were rumors that Lu Ming had a good relationship with the top 10 combat beasts. However, those were just rumors. But now, Lu Ming could be invited to give a lecture. Their relationship was not only good. Wasn't it courting death to go against such an expert? In the following 3 months, countless powerhouses from the Tai Ching heavenly region gathered at the Dragon Emperor Peak. There were even many powerhouses of the Heavenly Emperor realm. For a time, the Dragon Sovereign Peak was filled with experts. On this day, 3 months later, Qing Tsang arrived as promised and gave a lecture. A peak heavenly emperor's understanding of cultivation had already reached an extremely profound realm. Countless people benefited from this lecture, and even some heavenly emperors were greatly inspired. It should be known that there were not many peak heavenly emperors in the entire heaven realm, especially after the ancient war. Those who died or were injured were all in seclusion to cultivate or recuperate. Who would come out to give a lecture? It was very rare. After this lecture, Lu Ming released another important piece of news. 10 years later, he would invite another peak heavenly emperor to give a Tao lecture at the Dragon's Sovereign Peak. The crowd was even more shocked. Lu Ming could actually invite a peak heavenly emperor to give a lecture. This level of energy was shocking. Those forces that had designs on Lu Ming completely extinguished their thoughts. Although the treasure was important, he had to be alive to take it. Everyone was looking forward to the arrival of 10 years later. 10 years passed in the blink of an eye to experts. 10 years later, Lu Ming invited a peak heavenly emperor from the prison suppression field to give a lecture at the Dragon's Sovereign Peak. This time, there were even more people coming to Dragon Emperor Peak to listen to the Tao. It was simply a sea of people. At the same time, after the lecture ended, Lu Ming promised that a peak heavenly emperor would also give a lecture 10 years later. Everyone was shocked. Lu Ming was able to invite such a person. How many powerful people did he have connections with? This time, many of them decided to stay and cultivate near the Dragon Emperor Peak. Anyway, there was the path understanding ancient tree at the Dragon Emperor Peak. The cultivation environment was also top-notch in the heaven realm. Moreover, Lu Ming had an open attitude and welcomed others to come here to cultivate. This time, Dandan finally came out of his closed-door cultivation not long after. His cultivation base had reached the peak of the heavenly emperor realm. He had planned to go into closed-door cultivation in one go and continue to break through to the demigod realm, but he was dragged here by Lu Ming. He worked hard for 3 months near the Dragon's Sovereign Peak and set up a large array. After setting up the formation, Dandan ran away. No one knew where she went to enter closed-door cultivation to break through. With the great formation set up by Dandan, the Dragon's Sovereign Peak had truly become a top-notch cultivation place. Chapter 2523 Three Kings of Darkness. The great formation set up by Dandan not only had the function of defense and attack, but also the function of gathering the origin chi of heaven and earth. The origin chi between heaven and earth had gathered near the Dragon's Sovereign Peak, making the origin chi concentration here 10 times that of other places. For a time, the Dragon's Sovereign Peak had become a holy land for cultivation, and countless people came to cultivate. Once the 10 years were up, Lu Ming invited the 9 Lives Devilish Silkworm to give a lecture. Many people were inspired and broke through their bottlenecks, improving their cultivation. After that, Lu Ming would invite a peak heavenly emperor to give a lecture every 10 years. This had continued for 60 years. Lu Ming only stopped inviting peak heavenly emperors after 60 years. However, it was enough. Everyone in the entire heaven realm knew about Lu Ming's connections. It was too shocking. The number of experts standing behind him was terrifying. Although many people felt that Lu Ming was not very powerful, he was shocked by his energy. 60 years later, although there were no peak heavenly emperors giving Tao lectures, it seemed to have become a tradition. From time to time, powerful heavenly emperors would hold Tao lectures here, attracting many people to come and listen. Some of these sergeants were 4-star heavenly emperors, and some were 5-star heavenly emperors. Although they were far inferior to peak heavenly emperors, it was still a rare opportunity for those living beings below the heavenly emperor realm. The Dragon's Sovereign Peak had turned into a holy land for cultivation. Time passed quickly. It had been 100 years since Lu Ming and the rest left Netherworld Mountain. In the past 100 years, other than accompanying his family or teaching his disciples, Lu Ming had spent the rest of his time cultivating. His comprehension of the sovereign Tao had grown stronger and stronger over the past 100 years, but his cultivation was still at peak great emperor. His comprehension of the battle character formula was also getting deeper and deeper. It was several times better than when he had just come out of Netherworld Mountain. As for the others, such as Lu Xiangxiang, Ouyang Moli, Long Chen, and Huang Ling, they had all improved greatly. After consuming the fruit of life, their potential had exploded and their cultivation had increased greatly. Now, all of them had stepped into the great emperor realm. Even Lu Ming's two in-name disciples, Zhuang Xiaoshan and Zhuang Xiaoro, had become martial emperors. On this day, Lu Ming and Li Ping were drinking tea and chatting in the courtyard. Ming your and Xiaqing's granddaughter is already so old. Aren't you going to settle your matters? Li Ping asked. This, Lu Ming muttered to himself. His granddaughter, Lu Qi, had displayed shocking cultivation talent. She had become a great emperor long ago and had cultivated for more than 200 years. If not for the fact that Lu Qi was focused on cultivation and had no intention of getting married, Lu Ming would have many descendants. However, his wedding with Xian Yanqing had never been held. Li Ping and Lu Yuntian were still thinking about it. Ming you're thinking about Qiu Yu, Miss Feng Ling, and Miss Mulan, aren't you? Li Ping glanced at Lu Ming and said with a faint smile. Cough cough. Lu Ming coughed dryly. That was indeed the case. Now, his family and friends were all gathered in the vicinity of the Dragon Emperor Peak to cultivate. Xian Yanqing and Qiu Yu were both there. Huang Ling and Mulan were there as well. Everyone could see their feelings for Lu Ming, let alone him. Therefore, Lu Ming did not know how to face it. Hence, the wedding had been delayed. This child, you are exactly the same as your father when he was young. You also like to play with flowers and grass. Li Ping said in dissatisfaction. Cough, cough, cough. You're a woman, don't talk nonsense. When did I flirt around? At the side, Lu Yuntian hurriedly coughed dryly, and his face turned red. Father, mother, let me think about this matter again. Lu Ming was having a headache too. The only thing he could do now was to delay it and find an opportunity to test Xian Yanqing. Boom! Boom! Right at this moment, a few explosions suddenly came from the distant sky. Someone had barged in. The first thing that came to Lu Ming's mind was that someone had barged in and was attacked by the array. Who's there? How dare you break into the Dragon Emperor Peak? Stay here. Lu Ming didn't even need to make a move. 5 to 6 figures immediately rushed out from the Dragon Sovereign Peak and flew into the sky to launch an attack. They were Thunder 1, Earth 1, Gold 1, and the others. Buzz! In the sky above the Dragon Sovereign Peak, there was a black shadow that was moving extremely fast. It was fighting with Lei Yi and the others. However, after a few moves, Lei Yi and the others were completely outmatched and were forced to retreat. Let this old master deal with you. In the Dragon Sovereign Peak, an old man stepped out in the air. His fist force was as heavy as a mountain, and it blasted toward the black shadow. This elder was an elder among the immemorial body cultivators. He was also the strongest one. Back then, his cultivation had already reached the 4-star Heavenly Emperor level. The two of them exchanged more than a dozen moves, but the old Archean body cultivator was no match for him and was forced to retreat. He, it said that Dragon Emperor Peak is full of powerhouses, but you're just a so-so. A sneer was heard, and a figure appeared in the sky. It was a black-robed old man. He was thin and his eyes were cold. It's the Black Bat King. One of the 3 kings of darkness, the Black Bat King. Voices were heard from the Dragon Sovereign Peak. Lu Ming's close friends and family were not the only ones cultivating near the Dragon Sovereign Peak. There were many other people cultivating there as well. Some of them recognized the elder in black. So it's the 3 kings of darkness. Lu Ming's heart stirred. He had also heard of the 3 kings of darkness. They were the 3 notorious scums in the heaven realm. As the saying goes, when the forest is big, there are all kinds of people. There were countless living beings in the heaven realm, and not everyone was determined to fight against the evil god tribe. Among them, there were some who never fought with the alien races and often attacked the heaven realm powerhouses. They were notorious. The three kings of darkness were the best among them. The three kings of darkness were not humans, but three divine beasts. Two of them were 5-star heavenly emperors, while the other one was a 6-star heavenly emperor. In addition, they were extremely cautious and never provoked strong people with high cultivation. Moreover, they did not have a fixed residence and were elusive. They were also good at speed. Some of the top experts of the heaven realm wanted to get rid of them, but they always escaped. The mention of the three kings of darkness caused many people in the heaven realm to change their expressions. Black Bat King, you dare to come to my dragon sovereign peak? Aren't you afraid of death? Lei roared. He, don't think that I don't know. We brothers have been waiting and watching for 100 years. Of course, we're confident that we can make a move. Recently, no one has been preaching on the dragon sovereign peak. Those existences above the 5-star heavenly emperor level have all left. Who can do anything to us brothers? The Black Bat King laughed and stepped forward, revealing his 5-star heavenly emperor cultivation base. Lu Ming, get out here and hand over all the combat weapons and life fruits you have. Also, well, take this path understanding ancient tree. With that, the Black Bat King stretched out a big hand and grabbed the path understanding ancient tree on the top of the Dragon Emperor peak. Don't even think about it. Lei Yi and the others, as well as the ancient body cultivator Celestial the Arch, all rose into the sky and attacked the Black Bat King, blocking him. However, at this moment, the space behind the Black Bat King cracked open and two more figures appeared. The other two kings of darkness had arrived. Chapter 2524 Suppressed with a flip of the hand. The other two kings of darkness had arrived. They were the Black Eagle King and the Black Wing King. The Black Eagle King was a 6-star heavenly emperor, while the Black Wing King was a 5-star heavenly emperor. The auras of the three of them spread out without any restraint, enveloping the Dragon Sovereign Peak within. On the Dragon Sovereign Peak, many people's faces turned pale. The three kings of darkness must have been watching this place for a long time. During this period of time, the Dragon Sovereign Peak was lacking powerhouses. Sometimes, there were still some 5-star and 6-star heavenly emperors who stayed at the Dragon Emperor Peak. However, these experts had all left during this period of time. It was obvious that the three lords of darkness had taken advantage of this gap to come here. Lu Ming, hand over the treasures you have and we three brothers will spare your life. The Black Bat King clamored again. So what if there were many experts behind Lu Ming? As long as they snatched Lu Ming's treasures and found a place to hide, who would be able to find them? It seems that I need to show my might. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile and a cold glint flashed in his eyes. Obviously, most people were afraid of the power behind him and didn't dare to attack him, but that didn't mean that everyone didn't dare to. Those desperados who had nothing to worry about dared. All of this was because many people thought that Lu Ming was not strong enough. Today, Lu Ming was going to put an end to these people's thoughts. Initially, the formation that he had set up here was enough to kill the three lords of darkness. However, Lu Ming did not plan to activate the formation this time. He wanted to take action personally. Father, Mother, I need to go out for a while. Lu Ming said to Lu Yuntian and Li Ping. Ming you have to be careful. Li Ping said with concern. Father, Mother, don't worry. Lu Ming smiled and took a step forward. In the next moment, he appeared in the sky above the Dragon Sovereign Peak, facing the three lords of darkness. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. It's too dangerous for him to face the three lords of darkness like this. Many people were discussing in shock. Ha, Lu Ming, you're finally willing to come out. The Blackwing King of the Three Kings of Darkness sneered. "I'll take into account that it wasn't easy for you to cultivate. Surrender and become my mountain guardian divine beast, and I'll spare your lives." Lu Ming said coldly. "What?" The Three Kings of Darkness were stunned, and they looked at each other. Lu Ming actually asked them to surrender and even asked them to be his guardian divine beasts. Was he crazy? Did he think that there were still powerhouses keeping watch at the Dragon Sovereign Peak? They had been hiding at the Dragon Emperor Peak for 2 years. They knew the entrance and exit of the Dragon Emperor Peak like the back of their hands. He wanted to scare them. They thought that Lu Ming was bluffing. "Lu Ming, you don't have to bluff. We know the Dragon Sovereign Peak like the back of our hands. You can't scare us." The Black Bat King laughed coldly. "That's right. Today, the strongest person in your Dragon Sovereign Peak is only a 4-star Heavenly Emperor." The Black Wing King sneered. The Black Eagle King, the leader of the Three Kings of Darkness, had not said a word. "Oh, really? The strongest expert at the Dragon Sovereign Peak was only a 4-star Heavenly Emperor? How did you guys come to this conclusion?" The smile at the corner of Lu Ming's mouth grew wider. Then, he continued to take steps forward. "You're bluffing. Since that's the case, I'll kill you and your treasures will still belong to us." The Black Bat King let out a long screech, and in a flash, he disappeared. The Three Kings of Darkness were known for their speed, and the Black Bat King's movement was extremely fast. Most people on the same level as him could not keep up with his speed at all. However, he had encountered Lu Ming. Lu Ming stood there, unmoving, as if he had not seen the Black Bat King attack. Not good. Thunder 1, Gold 1, and the rest of the people from Dragon Sovereign Peak were all shocked. "Let's go and help the young master." Thunder 1, Gold 1, and the rest were about to rush toward Lu Ming. "Don't interfere." Lu Ming waved his hand and stopped Lei Yi and the rest from taking action. Whoosh! At this moment, a bright ray of light shot out from behind Lu Ming, aiming for the middle of his back. The Black Bat Monarch had launched his attack. His timing was impeccable. When Lu Ming stopped Lei Yi and the rest, he revealed a flaw. In addition, the Black Bat King's attack was fast, accurate, and ruthless. He was completely confident that this move would hit Lu Ming. As expected, he had stabbed her. The long sword in his palm pierced Lu Ming's back. At this moment, everyone's expression changed drastically. The others' expressions changed drastically because they thought that Lu Ming was done for. He was going to fall at the hands of the Black Bat Monarch. The reason for the Black Bat King's change in expression was the exact opposite of the others. That was because he realized that his long sword had pierced Lu Ming's back but could not penetrate it. Lu Ming's body seemed to be tougher than any divine weapon. His long sword stopped on Lu Ming's skin and could no longer penetrate it no matter how much power he exerted. Not good. The Black Bat Monarch roared in his heart and wanted to retreat. However, he was shocked to find that Lu Ming's body had produced a terrifying force that was firmly sucking him in. He could not retreat at all. He couldn't even move even if he wanted to, let alone retreat. Terrifying, extremely terrifying. At this moment, the Black Bat King's heart was filled with fear. He suddenly understood that he was facing an extremely terrifying existence. The Black Bat King's face turned even uglier than if he were crying. Lu Ming turned around slowly and faced the Black Bat King with a bright smile. "Your strength isn't that great, is it?" Lu Ming smiled. Everyone else in the area was also dumbfounded. What was going on? Why was it that Lu Ming was completely fine when the Black Bat Monarch had stabbed him? On the other hand, the Black Bat Monarch was just standing there motionless, as if he had been frozen in place. Many people were already dumbfounded. "Big brother, second brother, let's go. This man is evil." The Black Bat King reacted and immediately shouted. Let go of my third brother. Release him. The Black Eagle King and the Black Wing King didn't leave. With a roar, they revealed their true forms. It was a giant black eagle and a giant black sparrow. The Black Eagle King and the Black Wing King flapped their wings, stirring up a strong wind as they charged towards Lu Ming. Stubborn. Suppress. Lu Ming said coldly. He stretched out a hand and pressed down on the void. Boom. 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 In the sky, endless energy gathered, and a huge purple-gold hand formed. It covered a part of the sky, and pressed down on the Black Eagle King and the Black Wing King. The terrifying power caused the Black Eagle King and the Black Wing King's expressions to change. Not good, let's go. The Black Eagle King roared in fear, flapped his wings, and turned to leave. That was because he knew that he was no match for Lu Ming the moment he struck out with his palm. The Black Wing King did the same and turned to leave. However, they could not leave at all. The two of them were like two very slow mosquitoes that were enveloped by a palm. They could not escape the range of the palm's suppression at all. Boom! The purple gold palm pressed down. The Black Eagle King and the Black Wing King screamed in pain as they were pressed to the ground by Lu Ming's palm. Chapter 2525 Overlord Boom. Boom. The ground shook, and the Black Eagle King and the Black Wing King were pressed to the ground. They couldn't move at all, as if they were being crushed by an extremely heavy mountain. The scene fell into a dead silence. Everyone was dumbfounded. For a moment, they could not react at all. After a long while, the crowd gasped. Everyone looked at Lu Ming in shock. Oh my God, what did they just see? The Black Eagle King and the Black Wing King had been suppressed by Lu Ming's palm. They were a 6-star Heavenly Emperor and a 5-star Heavenly Emperor. They had dominated the Heaven Realm for countless years. They came and went without a trace. Some of the top experts couldn't do anything to them because they couldn't find them. However, they were suppressed by Lu Ming with one palm. Was Lu Ming's ability so powerful? Terrifying, this was too terrifying. Miracle. This was simply a miracle. No one had ever reached this stage at Lu Ming's age. After that, the entire place was in an uproar. Everyone was discussing excitedly. As for the Black Bat King, he was almost scared to death when he saw this. His expression was even uglier than crying. Bang! Lu Ming kicked the Black Bat King's stomach. The Black Bat King cried out in pain as his body was sent flying. He landed heavily on the ground, right next to the Black Eagle King and the Black Wing King. I'll give you one last chance. Surrender and be my guardian beast. Otherwise, you'll be my dinner tonight. Lu Ming said coldly. His cold gaze swept across the three Lords of Darkness, causing them to shiver. At the thought of becoming Lu Ming's meal, they broke out in a cold sweat. We are willing to surrender, we are willing to surrender. We surrender. The three Kings of Darkness shouted one after another. At this moment, they knew very well that if they didn't surrender, they would die. Relax your mind. I will plant a restriction on your souls. Whoever resists will die. Lu Ming said. Yes, yes, yes. The three Kings of Darkness nodded and bowed. At once, Lu Ming planted a restriction in the three Lords of Darkness souls. The three Lords of Darkness completely became Lu Ming's guardian beasts. Master, the three of us have offended many enemies over the years. If we surrender to you, I'm afraid many people will come to find trouble with you. The Black Eagle King said worriedly. Don't worry, you've become my guardian beasts, so you're my people. No one will dare to find trouble with you. Lu Ming said, full of confidence. Yes, yes, Master's divine power is unparalleled. Whoever comes to find trouble with Master will die. The Black Bat King immediately said with a fawning expression. Alright, you guys guard 3 directions of the Dragon Emperor Peak. Go. Lu Ming waved his hand. Yes, yes, yes. The 3 kings of darkness nodded and transformed into their original forms before flying in 3 different directions of the Dragon's sovereign peak. At this moment, many people were completely shocked. The 3 kings of darkness, who had wreaked havoc in the heaven realm, had been subdued by Lu Ming with ease. They were deeply shocked by Lu Ming's means and combat strength. Had Lu Ming's abilities reached this level? He could suppress a 6-star heavenly emperor with a flip of his hand. This kind of strength was already standing at the peak of this world. No, I must report this to the sect leader. Hurry up and send a message to the patriarch. Many people started to take action. The news of Lu Ming suppressing the 3 lords of darkness spread at a terrifying speed. It soon spread throughout the entire Tai Ching heavenly region and even the primordial realm. The heaven realm and the primordial realm were in turmoil because of Lu Ming's matter. Everyone who heard the news was dumbfounded. What kind of strength was it to suppress a 6-star heavenly emperor with a flip of his hand? Everyone understood that they had completely underestimated Lu Ming in the past. Not only did Lu Ming have many terrifying powerhouses behind him, but he himself was also an extremely powerful existence. They finally knew why those peak experts had such a good relationship with Lu Ming. It was because Lu Ming was at the same level as them. All the powerful forces and powerful existences no longer had any disloyal thoughts or thoughts about Lu Ming. Many forces even sent emissaries to congratulate Lu Ming. Of course, they were blocked at the door by Lu Ming. Lu Ming, have you already reached this stage? It seems that I am not your match after all. On a mountain in the heaven realm, Tianming stood with his hands behind his back and a complicated expression on his face. Now, he had also entered the Great Emperor realm. This cultivation speed could be said to be very strong in the history of the heaven realm. However, compared to Lu Ming, he was far inferior. Heaven realm, Lin family. Lin Xiaofeng, one of the 9 absolutes of the heaven realm, was looking in the direction of the dragon's sovereign peak. As expected, I can't be compared to Lu Ming. I should put down my pride and go to the Dragon Emperor Peak to seek Tao. With that, Lin Xiaofeng turned into a rainbow light and left for the Dragon Emperor Peak. In the Lan family, everyone was silent after hearing the news. Then, they rejoiced. Back then, they had a grudge against Lu Ming. However, they listened to the Lan family's patriarch's suggestion and sent gifts to Lu Ming as an apology in public. In the past, many people were indignant and felt uncomfortable. They felt that there was no need to apologize to Lu Ming. However, they were all glad that they had resolved their grudges with Lu Ming. Otherwise, the Lan family would have been destroyed. Lu Ming. Xianyuan Yi, who had defeated Lin Xiaofeng to become the number 1 of the 9 absolutes and was then defeated by Lu Ming, stood in the courtyard of the Lan family. He looked in the direction of Dragon's sovereign peak with a complicated look in his eyes. Xianyuan, you don't have to worry about it. Lu Ming has shocked the world. Since ancient times, there has never been someone like him. He's destined to be the protagonist of the world. We can't compare to him. Lan Xia walked over and held Xianyuan Yi's hand. He knew that Xianyuan Yi had a knot in his heart ever since he was defeated by Lu Ming. Ow. I understand. Xianyuan Yi sighed after a long while. From now on, I won't treat him as an opponent. Lu Ming. Lu Ming. At this moment, countless people in the heaven realm and the primordial realm chanted this name. Those who had a grudge against Lu Ming were all trembling in fear. Those who were close to Lu Ming were all smiles. From then on, Lu Ming had become a hegemon in everyone's hearts, a giant of the heaven realm. As for the people who went to the Dragon's sovereign peak to cultivate, there were even more of them. They came in an endless stream. Lu Ming did not reject anyone. In fact, he even personally held a lecture a few months later. Those who listened to him were deeply convinced by his teachings. After that incident, the days at Dragon Emperor Peak became peaceful. In fact, the entire Heaven Realm, Primordial Realm, and Evil God Realm had been very peaceful during this period of time. The two battlefields would occasionally have a battle. It was peaceful, and everyone was in seclusion, cultivating with all their might. This was because everyone knew that this peace was only on the surface. No one knew when a shocking storm would erupt. At that time, everyone would be swept into it. Chapter 2526 Destroying the camp with a single shot. Spring left and autumn came, and another 100 years passed in a hurry. 200 years had passed since Lu Ming and the rest returned from Netherworld Mountain. In a secret chamber at the peak of the Dragon Sovereign Peak, Lu Ming had just finished his cultivation. He was frowning. After another 100 years, Lu Ming's cultivation base had reached the limit of peak Great Emperor. He felt that he could break through to the Heavenly Emperor realm at any time. However, the force between heaven and earth that was blocking him was too strong. He could not break through it. My combat power is still not enough. It's hard to break through the power of the Heavenly Tao. Lu Ming frowned and pondered. After more than 200 years of cultivation, Lu Ming realized that his cultivation speed of the battle formula was still too slow. Furthermore, he seemed to have reached a bottleneck in his cultivation of the battle formula. It had been more than 10 years and he had not improved at all. The battle symbol art must be improved in battle. Only in battle can the comprehension of the battle symbol art be faster. Furthermore, I've reached a bottleneck. They'll have to go through an intense battle to break through. Lu Ming started to think. However, at his current level, there were not many people who could fight with him. Even if he went to find demigods from the Heaven Realm to fight, they were all from the Heaven Realm, so it was impossible for him to fight to the death. The effect would definitely not be good. Evil God Tribe. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. He thought of the Evil God race. The Evil God Tribe was the best whetstone. Then he'll use you guys as practice first. Lu Ming muttered and left the place of seclusion. He took a step forward and the space cracked open. Lu Ming stepped into the space and disappeared. The next moment, he appeared on the battlefield outside Two World City. All these years, the Evil God Tribe had always been focused on defense. However, they would also send some people to fight with the Heaven Realm on the battlefield. Therefore, the Heaven Realm and the Evil God Tribe would often fight on this battlefield. However, they were all small-scale, and there were no large-scale battles. Lu Ming took a step forward and headed in the direction of the Hunyuan Heavenly Realm. Kill! Kill! After walking for a while, Lu Ming heard intense battle cries ahead. A group of people were engaged in an intense battle. Some were from the Heaven Realm, some were from the Evil God Tribe, and there were hundreds of them in total. Both sides fought fiercely, with people dying from time to time. Lu Ming walked straight toward the battlefield. Kill! A tall Evil God clansman saw Lu Ming and charged at him with a battle axe in his hand. Buzz! A piece of muscle on Lu Ming's chest shook violently. The vibration of the muscle and the space shook rapidly, forming a terrifying force. The foreign being's body exploded under the force. Given Lu Ming's current physical state, he did not even need to make a move. The terrifying power that erupted from the vibration of his muscles was enough to kill the enemy. Bang! Bang! As Lu Ming took a step forward, the bodies of all the Evil God Tribe members who got close to him exploded and died on the spot. However, the living beings in the Heaven Realm were also fine. Many people were shocked. What kind of technique was this? They had not seen Lu Ming make a move, but the Evil God Tribe members had already died. Lu Ming, yes, Lu Ming. Someone exclaimed as he recognized Lu Ming. It's Lu Ming. No wonder. The people from the Heaven Realm were overjoyed. As for the Evil God race members, they were afraid and turned to run. Whoosh! Lu Ming waved his hand, and a purple gold light flashed across the void. All the evil god tribe members were killed on the spot. So strong, he's too powerful. Is this Lu Ming's strength? Those evil god tribe members can't even withstand a single blow. The people from the heaven realm were shocked to see Lu Ming kill hundreds of alien races with ease. Lu Ming did not stop after killing hundreds of alien races. He continued to move forward. Where is Lu Ming going? Could it be that he wants to kill his way to the camp of the non-humankind? It's been a long time since someone of this level made a move. This is a big deal. Let's go and take a look. The heaven realm beings followed behind Lu Ming. Lu Ming continued to move forward. Along the way, he encountered a few fights. Lu Ming casually attacked and killed the evil god race. After recognizing Lu Ming, the beings from the heaven realm followed him one by one. There were more than 1,000 of them. Finally, a huge object appeared in front of them. They had arrived at the evil god tribe's military camp. The evil god tribe's camp was huge and blocked the path to the Hunyuan heavenly region. The interior was densely packed with all kinds of buildings and countless evil god race members. The camp was surrounded by large formations that flickered with light, protecting the camp. In some places, the heaven realm beings and the evil god race were still fighting. Boom! Lu Ming's aura began to rise. A long spear condensed by the ruler's power appeared in his hand. Buzz! Lu Ming soared into the sky and stood high in the air. He held the long spear with both hands and swung it forward with all his might. The long spear in his hand grew rapidly, filling up the entire sky. It was even more majestic than a mountain range, and it pressed down toward the evil god tribe's military camp. Not good, someone is attacking the camp. The evil god tribe's military camp was shaken, and countless figures flew around. Great formation, activate the great formation, don't panic. Our formation is enough to stop them. Their voices spread through the entire military camp. The evil god tribe's military camp lit up with beams of light. A huge beam of light enveloped the entire camp. Boom! The purple gold spear struck the light shield of the evil god tribe's military camp heavily. When the spear hit the light shield, the entire battlefield seemed to shake violently, sending dust into the air. Bang! Bang! The ground near the evil god tribe's military camp exploded continuously, sending rocks flying everywhere. One after another, huge cracks appeared on the ground like a spider web. The light barrier formed by the evil god tribe's formation started to shake crazily. It was like an elastic bubble that was being crushed and caved in. Break! Lu Ming shouted. He exerted all his strength and pressed down. Bang! The light barrier around the evil god tribe's military camp exploded. It was broken. The evil god tribe's military camp's formation was broken by Lu Ming's spear. The huge spear brought with it a terrifying aura and pressed down. Run, quickly run. Run! Countless members of the evil god race were shocked to death. However, as the spear pressed down, it created an endless spatial storm. Many of the evil god tribe members were crushed into meat paste under the terrifying power before they could escape. One by one, the members of the evil god tribe exploded. Boom! The huge spear finally struck the ground, causing countless buildings to explode. A huge spear mark that was 5 million miles long and 1 million miles wide appeared on the ground. Tragic. In that instant, countless members of the evil god tribe were killed by Lu Ming. The evil god tribe's military camp was a complete mess. Heavens! The beings of the heaven realm were all dumbfounded when they saw this. Lu Ming had single-handedly destroyed the evil god tribe's military camp with one move and killed countless members of the evil god tribe. He was too powerful. Chapter 25-27, Lu Ming, an invincible powerhouse Lu Ming broke through the evil god tribe's formation and took a step forward. He appeared in front of the evil god tribe's military camp and swept out with his long spear. It was as if the spear was sweeping through thousands of soldiers. The camp that was not hit just now was constantly blown to pieces by the spear. Run, quickly run. Countless members of the evil god tribe turned into countless streaks of light and fled toward the back of the military camp. Lu Ming, you're courting death. Damn it, a few angry roars came from the depths of the evil god race's camp. A few terrifying auras rose up and rushed over. Peak Heavenly Emperor. It's a peak Heavenly Emperor. Many of the Heaven Realm beings' expressions changed drastically, and they subconsciously tried to escape. Quick, send a message to Two World City and ask the experts to come over. The other party has 3 peak Heavenly Emperors. Some people had already started to transmit their voices. 3 peak Heavenly Emperors. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. Buzz. Whoosh. The speed of a peak Heavenly Emperor was too fast. He appeared in front of Lu Ming in the blink of an eye. There's another acquaintance. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a cold glint. One of them was Wuxia, known as the Realm-Breaking General. Back then, Wuxia was the one who had captured Lu Ming and brought him to the evil god realm. As for the other 2, one of them was a royal member of the evil god tribe, while the other was a noble member of the evil god tribe. Their bodies were covered in sparkling purple scales. The 3 peak Heavenly Emperors' eyes were filled with terrifying killing intent. They wished they could cut Lu Ming into 8 pieces. Behind them, the Heaven Realm's creatures felt a terrifying pressure. Many of them had already retreated. Some of them were bold. Seeing that Lu Ming did not move, they forced themselves to be brave and watched. Lu Ming, you've killed so many of my people. Today, you'll die without a doubt, said Wuxia coldly. Make your move, Wuxia. Today, it's a good time to settle the score of you capturing me back then. However, I advise you to make your move together. Lu Ming said. How arrogant. I alone am enough to kill you. Die. Wuxia shouted coldly. He took a step forward and appeared in front of Lu Ming. His purple hair danced in the wind and his aura was raised to its maximum. Buzz. A combat sword appeared in his hand and he swung it at Lu Ming. The sword slashed out, and the void was cut apart, leaving a crack that was 1,000,000 miles long. A peak Heavenly Emperor's full power attack was unimaginably powerful. Without a doubt, the sword in Wuxia's hand was a Heaven Dao soldier. Buzz. The long spear in Lu Ming's hand shook and swept out, clashing with Wuxia's combat sword. Clang. With a deafening boom, Wuxia's body trembled violently. He was sent flying back tens of thousands of miles. He spat out a mouthful of blood. How is that possible? Wuxia roared in his heart. He was so shocked that it was hard to imagine. The 2 of them had only exchanged one move and he was already injured by Lu Ming. Moreover, Lu Ming had not even used the Heaven Dao soldier, but he had already used it. He simply couldn't accept it. Back then, he could kill Lu Ming with a flip of his hand. However, he could actually injure him now. It had only been a few hundred years. A few hundred years, to people of their level, was just a blink of an eye. He was not the only one. The other 2 peak Heavenly Emperors of the evil god race and the other members of the evil god race were all stunned. The living beings of the Heaven Realm were also stunned. He injured a peak Heavenly Emperor with one move. Is this Lu Ming's strength? This is too terrifying. Even some of the Heaven Realm beings that were running away stopped in their tracks. I said, you can't do it alone. Come at me 3 times. Lu Ming said. The purple gold spear in his hand dispersed and was replaced by the Great Desolation Spear. Let's attack together. Wuxia looked at the other 2 peak Heavenly Emperors. Good. Let's attack together. We must kill this man today. The other peak stage heavenly emperor from the evil god tribe nodded and transmitted a message to the other two. Lu Ming was really terrifying. He had such combat strength at such a young age. They had also heard of Lu Ming's performance in Netherworld Mountain. The evil god tribe members who had been to Netherworld Mountain said that Lu Ming had the combat strength of a peak heavenly emperor when he controlled the divine nine-dragon cauldron. However, Lu Ming did not do anything just now. He had injured Maroja with his own strength. This was a little terrifying. This proved that Lu Ming's ability was increasing rapidly. If such a person was not killed, there would be endless trouble in the future. Boom! 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 The three peak heavenly emperors moved instantly and attacked Lu Ming from three directions. Come on! Lu Ming's eyes were filled with fighting spirit. He shook his great desolation spear and thrust it out 3 times. 3 spearlights were aimed at the 3 of them. There were 3 consecutive booms. The attacks of Maroja and the other 2 were all destroyed by Lu Ming. They were even forced to retreat by Lu Ming's attacks. Kill! Lu Ming took a step forward with an imposing manner. His long spear trembled, and the spear's radiance that soared to the sky attacked the 3 of them continuously, enveloping them in the spear's radiance. The 3 of them unleashed their full power and fought Lu Ming. However, they were shocked to discover that they were not Lu Ming's match at all. They were completely suppressed and at a disadvantage. Lu Ming is going to win. After the shock, the beings of the heaven realm were overjoyed. Lu Ming could suppress 3 peak heavenly emperors alone. What kind of combat strength was that? An invincible expert. A word flashed across everyone's mind. Only an unrivaled powerhouse would have such combat strength to suppress 3 peak heavenly emperors. Lu Ming had actually reached the stage of being an invincible powerhouse. Bang! In the intense battle, Maroja was whipped by Lu Ming's long spear. His body almost exploded. He retreated frantically and kept vomiting blood. Maroja, they'll send you on your way. Lu Ming's cold voice was heard. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Ming had already appeared in front of Maroja and thrust the great desolation spear. No! Maroja was terrified. He burst out madly, setting up attacks and defenses. However, under Lu Ming's attack, it was all in vain. They all collapsed and exploded. Lu Ming's current physical combat strength was equivalent to that of a peak heavenly emperor. The combat strength of the Way of the Ruler was also equivalent to that of a peak heavenly emperor. With the two combined, Lu Ming's strength was far beyond that of a peak heavenly emperor. In addition, Lu Ming had comprehended the battle character formula. With the enhancement of the battle formula, Lu Ming's combat strength was even stronger. He could easily suppress a peak stage heavenly emperor. Pfft! The great desolation spear broke through Maroja's attack like a piece of rotten wood. It pierced through his dantian. Maroja's eyes were wide open as he looked at Lu Ming in shock. There was fear in his eyes. Go! Lu Ming said coldly. He shook the long spear and a terrifying power burst out. Maroja's body was torn into pieces. A peak heavenly emperor had fallen. Not good, let's go. The other 2 peak heavenly emperors turned around and left, not daring to continue fighting. They immediately tore open space, wanting to escape through space. A peak heavenly emperor had the ability to tear space and travel from one realm to another. Stay! Lu Ming pulled out the great desolation spear in his hand and the space exploded, blocking the other party's path. Then, Lu Ming charged toward the 2 peak heavenly emperors. Chapter 2528 Killing his way to Hunyuan Heavenly Domain. Lu Ming blocked the path of retreat of the 2 peak heavenly emperors from the evil god tribe. His long spear swept across the sky and headed toward the 2 of them. Previously, the three-peak heavenly emperors were no match for Lu Ming. Now that there were only two left, they were even more outmatched. Although the two of them tried their best to resist and counterattack, under the pressure of Lu Ming's long spear, the two of them continued to retreat. They spat out blood and their bodies cracked. Go, quickly go. Go report to the king. The other members of the evil god tribe did not dare to stay any longer. Regardless of their cultivation, they all ran for their lives. For a moment, not a single one of them was left in the huge military camp. Bang! One of the peak stage heavenly emperors of the evil god tribe was struck in the shoulder by Lu Ming. Half of his body exploded and he was sent flying. Kill! One of the evil god race members was severely injured. Lu Ming had his eyes on the last evil god race member. His blood and chi were in turmoil, and the power of domination filled the air. Lu Ming's courage was unparalleled. With the support of the battle character formula, any random move he made was filled with terrifying combat power. Pfft! The peak stage heavenly emperor from the evil god tribe was unable to block it. His head was pierced through by the spear and he died on the spot. Then, Lu Ming charged toward the injured evil god tribe member. Without a doubt, the evil god tribe member was also killed by Lu Ming. Since then, the three peak heavenly emperors who were guarding the evil god tribe's military camp had all died at Lu Ming's hands. The heavens, the beings of the heaven realm were all dumbfounded. He had killed three peak heavenly emperors by himself. These were peak heavenly emperors. Every one of them stood at the peak of the world. Every one of them was a true big shot. However, three of them had died at once. The impact of watching three peak heavenly emperors die in front of them was extremely shocking. They couldn't react in time. It was only when Lu Ming stepped forward into the evil god tribe's military camp and was about to disappear that they came to their senses. When he finally reacted, he was extremely excited. That was because the camp of the non-human race had been breached. Quick, go back and tell them that the camp of the non-human kind has been broken through. Let the army come here and fight to the Hunyuan heavenly realm. We can take back the Hunyuan heavenly realm now. Hurry! All of the heaven realm beings seemed to have gone crazy and were extremely excited. Since the ancient war, the 9 heavenly regions of the heaven realm, except for the Tai Ching heavenly region, had been occupied by the alien races. Now, they finally had a chance to take back the Hunyuan heavenly realm. Naturally, they were excited. Buzz! Whoosh! One figure after another flew toward Two World City. Two World City, like the royal city, was heavily guarded. The formation was activated. Very quickly, those people returned to Two World City. Quick, quick, report to the heavenly venerates. Send the army to attack the Hunyuan heavenly realm. We must take it back. Hurry, hurry up. The living beings of the heaven realm all cried out. The people in Two World City looked at them as if they were fools. Are you crazy? Take back the Hunyuan heavenly realm? There are countless powerful beings stationed in the evil god tribe's military camp. How do we take them? Did you guys receive some kind of shock? The people in Two World City were speechless. No, the evil god tribe's military camp has been breached. 3 peak heavenly emperors from the other party have died, and the rest have escaped. Now is a good time. Someone shouted. Really? 3 peak heavenly emperors have died, and you're all just bragging. The people in Two World City obviously did not believe him. Peak heavenly emperors were not cabbages. There were not many of them in the entire heaven realm and the evil god realm. How could they die so easily? It's true. I have to report this to the various exalted celestials. At this moment, a tall and sturdy old man came up to them. He was quite dignified. Heavenly Emperor Lu Yun. Many people in Two World City were shocked when they saw the old man. Heavenly Emperor Lu Zheng was a veteran Heavenly Emperor who had been guarding Two World City in the past and had a lot of prestige. Could it be that what they said was true? Then, when they thought of this, their eyes revealed a look of horror. Heavenly Emperor Liujia probably wouldn't say such things. Thump. Boom. Many people's hearts started to beat faster. If this was true, it would be a big deal. Quickly report to the various exalted celestials. Some people rushed towards Two World City. Before long, at least a dozen figures arrived on the city walls of Two World City. These people were all peerless experts who were guarding Two World City. Every one of them was a 4-star Heavenly Emperor or above. There were even 2 peak Heavenly Emperors. Lu Qian, what happened? Is what you're saying true? A peak Heavenly Emperor asked. My lord, it's true. We saw that the evil god tribe's camp has been broken through and 3 peak stage Heavenly Emperors have been killed. Now is the best time to attack the Hunyuan Heavenly Realm. Celestial Emperor Liujia said. Who's going to attack? Which unrivaled expert? A peerless expert asked. Even with their temperaments, they were still greatly shocked. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. Someone immediately shouted. What? Lu Ming. The dozen or so peerless powerhouses were all greatly shocked. Lu Ming is alone. Someone asked. That's right. It's Lu Ming alone. He broke the evil god tribe's formation and killed 3 peak emperors on the spot. He's already in the Hunyuan Heavenly region. Celestial Emperor Liujia said. Hiss. Hiss. The people present gasped. Lu Ming had single-handedly broken through the alien tribe's formation and killed 3 peak Heavenly Emperors. What a shocking achievement was this! How amazing was Lu Ming's combat strength! Previously, some people had speculated that Lu Ming's strength had already reached the peak of the Heavenly Emperor realm. However, they now knew that they had underestimated Lu Ming. Sound the drums. Gather the army and follow me to the Hunyuan Heavenly realm. One of the top powers took a deep breath and gave the order. Thump. 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 A deafening boom was heard in Two World City. The war drums were sounded, and countless cultivators flew towards the city walls. What's going on? Don't tell me the alien races are attacking. Is the final battle coming? Many people were puzzled. Let us go, follow me to the camp of the outsiders. One peak Heavenly Emperor took the lead and flew out of Two World City. Although many people were confused, they did not question the military order and flew out of Two World City. Countless voices blotted out the sky as they charged toward the evil god tribe's military camp. When they arrived at the evil god tribe's military camp and saw the ruins and the huge spear mark that was millions of miles long, they were all deeply shocked. The evil god tribe's military camp had been breached, and the evil god tribe was completely empty. It's Lu Ming. Very soon, the news of Lu Ming breaching the evil god tribe's military camp spread throughout the entire army. Everyone was shocked. Kill our way over, well, kill our way to the Hunyuan Heavenly Realm and take it back. Kill. Ha ha ha. Then, the morale of the Heaven Realm beings was greatly boosted. They rushed past the evil god tribe's camp and attacked the Hunyuan Heavenly region. Wherever they went, they saw corpses of the evil god tribe. Clearly, these were all killed by Lu Ming. Chapter 2529 Battling the Non-Human King. The army of the Heaven Realm moved forward and soon passed through the passage and entered the Hunyuan Heavenly Realm. After entering the Hunyuan Heavenly region, they realized that they had not encountered any attacks from the evil god tribe. Originally, the evil god tribe's army was almost concentrated in the middle camp. In the vast Hunyuan Heavenly region, there were not many evil god tribe members. Previously, the evil god tribe had been defeated like a landslide, and most of them had withdrawn from the Hunyuan Heavenly region. Ha ha ha, I'm finally back in the Hunyuan heavenly realm. How many years has it been? Ha ha ha. Some people laughed crazily. The person who laughed was a heavenly emperor. He was from the Hunyuan heavenly realm in the ancient times. However, he had never returned to the Hunyuan heavenly realm ever since it was occupied by the alien races. Now that he had returned, he was naturally excited. Let's go. Lu Ming must have gone to the passageway between the chaotic Yuan heavenly realm and the 10,000 spirit heavenly realm. Let's go and help him. A peak heavenly emperor roared. Kill. The spirits of the heaven realm beings were high as they charged towards the passageway between the heaven realm and 10,000 spirit realm. At this moment, Lu Ming had indeed reached the passageway between the chaotic Yuan heavenly realm and the 10,000 spirit heavenly realm. There were indeed many members of the evil god tribe gathered in this passageway. However, when Lu Ming arrived, they were still no match for him. They were defeated and retreated to the next heaven domain, the 9 nether heaven domain. Through the passage, Lu Ming arrived at the 10,000 spirit realm. Lu Ming felt a little emotional. Back then, he came to the 10,000 spirit realm by accident and met Ren Chan and the others. He also got to know the immemorial body cultivators and obtained the cultivation method of the 7 gods' mysterious technique. Let's go and take a look. Lu Ming did not pursue the evil god tribe immediately. Instead, he took a step forward and headed toward the most forbidden area in the 10,000 spirit heavenly domain, the Land of Dusk. Back then, the Archean body cultivators lived in the depths of the Land of Dusk, and the small world of Ren Chan and the others was also at the edge of the Land of Dusk. Very soon, Lu Ming arrived at the Land of Dusk, the small world where Ren Chan used to live. The small world had completely collapsed and turned into nothingness. Needless to say, the remaining people in the small world of Ren Chan and the others were probably dead. After that, Lu Ming went to the depths of the Land of Dusk. This hell had also been blown up. It was in tatters and empty. This made the viciousness in Lu Ming's eyes intensify. Evil God tribe, it's best if some stronger experts come. Lu Ming muttered. An opponent at the peak of the heavenly emperor level was not challenging to him at all. It could not be used to hone his skills. Lu Ming's figure had already disappeared. Not long after, Lu Ming arrived at the passageway between the 10,000 spirit heavenly domain and the abysmal heavenly domain. There weren't many obstructions here, and there was almost no evil god tribe. Clearly, the evil god tribe had already retreated. Lu Ming entered the netherworld realm and headed toward the passageway there. The passageway of the netherworld realm was connected to the beast god realm. In this passageway, Lu Ming finally saw the densely packed evil god tribe. Countless members of the evil god race had set up formations and defensive systems here. The entire passageway was covered in a pitch-black light barrier. Buzz! Lu Ming did not hesitate. He shook the Great Desolation Spear and whipped it down. The Great Desolation Spear expanded rapidly, reaching a length of 1,000,000 miles as it lashed out at the evil god tribe's formation. But this time around, before the Great Desolation Spear could land, an axe radiance slashed out from the evil god tribe's army. This axe light was also extremely terrifying and split the entire sky in half. In the eyes of ordinary people, this was completely like the creation of the world. Boom! The Great Desolation Spear and the axe radiance collided with each other. The void within a radius of millions of miles exploded and turned into nothingness. Following that, a terrifying aura burst forth from the evil god tribe's army. A figure stepped out into the air and arrived high up in the sky. This figure had purple hair and was not much different from a human. His 3 eyes were opened and revealed a cold luster. On his head, he was wearing a crown. A king of a non-human race. The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. It seemed that demigod-level existences from the evil god tribe had finally arrived. As far as he knew, the kings of the 10 royal clans of the non-human race were all existences that surpassed peak heavenly emperors. They were all unrivaled figures at the demigod level. The non-human king's aura was terrifying and overbearing. He was much stronger than a peak stage heavenly emperor. It was obvious that the outsiders had already sent the news back, so a king of the outsiders had come. Lu Ming, you killed 3 peak heavenly emperors of my clan. You must die today. The non-human king said coldly, his killing intent extremely thick. Cut the crap. If you want to kill me, let's see if you have the ability. Lu Ming sneered. The great desolation spear buzzed and vibrated. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with a strong fighting spirit. This was the first time he was facing a demigod. How strong were demigods? Lu Ming was filled with anticipation. Kill. The king of the non-human race carried a pitch-black battle axe. He took a step forward and appeared not far from Lu Ming. He swung the battle axe down. The non-human king's attack was extremely simple. There was nothing fancy about it. However, the power of the axe was extremely terrifying. It could break everything. It was really able to break through everything. It was as if nothing in this world could stop it. Even the heavenly Tao was about to be torn apart. Come on. The fighting spirit in Lu Ming's eyes grew stronger. The qi and blood in his body churned, and the power of the world burst out. Lu Ming pushed all his strength to the limit and waved his long spear, blasting it out. Clang! The two of them clashed again, and the sky exploded with a terrifying boom. Everything within 1,000,000 miles seemed to be destroyed. Buzz! The two figures retreated 10,000 miles and stood in the void, facing each other. This time, it was a draw. Is this the divine power condensed after 10,000 elements returned to one? Lu Ming muttered in a low voice. He was looking forward to it. He had heard from the ancestral dragon that demigods could combine everything into one and form a divine fire in their bodies. This divine fire was made of divine power. However, in the heaven realm, the evil god realm, this was already the limit. Only by leaving this place and going outside would one be able to become a war god. There was a huge difference between a demigod and a martial god. A demigod could only form a single divine flame, and the divine power contained in a single divine flame was extremely limited. The martial god, on the other hand, was filled with divine power. He was many times more powerful than he was before. However, the power of divine power was beyond the heavenly path. It was too shocking. Even the divine power contained in a divine fire was enough to be invincible. Without the martial god, who could compete with him? He was known as an invincible powerhouse. At this moment, countless members of the evil god race were stunned. Lu Ming was actually able to fight against a king. Lu Ming's strength was too terrifying. Let's see how many moves you can block. Kill. The king of the non-human race wielded his battle axe and charged at Lu Ming. His body and the battle axe were both covered in a thin layer of divine power, which was extremely powerful. Fight! Lu Ming held his long spear and charged over. This was the feeling he wanted. The king of the outsiders could finally give him some pressure. Chapter 2531 1 against 2 Lu Ming and the king of the non-human race engaged in an intense battle. At times, they fought in the sky, and at other times, they fought in the depths of the void. When existences at their level attacked with all their might, they could really destroy the world. If they fought on the ground, an entire heavenly region would be destroyed by them. A small continent like the divine wilderness continent could probably be reduced to ashes with a single move. Soon, the two of them had exchanged hundreds of moves. King of the outsiders, is this all you have? How disappointing. Lu Ming's expression turned indifferent. His fighting spirit and combat strength grew stronger and stronger, and he began to suppress the king of the non-human race. One, how is that possible? The non-human king was extremely shocked. He could clearly sense that Lu Ming had yet to step into demigod level as he had yet to produce divine power. His cultivation level was lower than his, but his combat strength was stronger than his. He was actually slowly suppressing him. This was too terrifying. The non-human king growled and activated the divine power in his body to the maximum. Unfortunately, he was still no match for Lu Ming. It was as if Lu Ming's casual spear attack could explode with shocking power and terrifying combat strength. He was forced to retreat. The battle symbol art is indeed powerful. Lu Ming muttered. At this moment, he had activated the battle formula to the extreme. He had reached his current limit. The more he fought, the stronger he became. He had already gained the upper hand. How is that possible? How is this possible? Countless non-humans muttered to themselves, finding it hard to accept this. In their hearts, the king of the non-human race was an invincible existence, a symbol of invincibility. But now, he was going to be defeated, and he was defeated by a young man from the heaven realm. Bang! After a few more moves, the non-human king was swept by Lu Ming's spear radiance and his body flew out horizontally. A bloody wound appeared on his body and blood flowed out. It seems that you can't kill me today. Lu Ming said disdainfully and continued to attack the other party. The alien king let out a long roar and fought Lu Ming with all his might. Unfortunately, after more than 10 moves, he was sent flying by Lu Ming and spat out a mouthful of blood. Once he was at a disadvantage and was injured by Lu Ming, his combat strength would be weakened and he would not be Lu Ming's match. How did this happen? The faces of countless members of the evil god race turned pale. What to do? Even a king was not Lu Ming's match. Should they retreat? Otherwise, when the king of the outsiders was defeated, they would be the ones to die. At this moment, space cracked open and another figure appeared. This figure was also wearing a crown and had a shocking aura. Another king of the outsiders had arrived. Kill! The non-human king descended and charged at Lu Ming. Good! The fighting spirit in Lu Ming's eyes grew stronger as he fought with this non-human king. The non-human king from before had also returned. 2 non-human kings were fighting Lu Ming. The 2 non-human kings working together were too terrifying. In this world, who could defeat them except for the martial god realm? Legend had it that the peerless Chaos Supreme Emperor and the Undying Supreme Emperor had been besieged by 2 kings of the non-human race and eventually died. Lu Ming was at a disadvantage as he was surrounded by 2 kings. For a moment, Lu Ming could only retaliate but not counterattack. Yes, that's it, Lu Ming was not afraid. Instead, he was even more surprised. Lu Ming felt an immense pressure as he was surrounded by 2 non-human kings. Under this pressure, his understanding of the battle character formula was rapidly improving. A slow comprehension was not as fast as a crisis. Buzz! Whoosh! Lu Ming brandished his spear and unleashed all his strength. His entire body was covered in the purple gold dominator's power. He continued to activate the battle symbol art as he fought the 2 kings. Although the 2 kings had the upper hand, Lu Ming was as steady as a rock. The Great Desolation spear danced in an airtight manner. They could not break through Lu Ming's defense in a short time. How is that possible? This brat is even more difficult to deal with than the Primal Chaos Emperor and the Undying Emperor. A non-human king thought in shock. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged 100 moves. Lu Ming was still steadily blocking their attacks. At this moment, the army of the Heaven Realm had finally arrived in the direction of the abysmal heavenly domain. They were densely packed and surging toward this side. However, they stopped when they were far away. The battle between Lu Ming and the 2 foreign tribe kings was too terrifying. The void was filled with destructive storms, and they did not dare to get close. Heavens, is that the king of the outsiders? Yes, two alien kings. Lu Ming is fighting two alien kings. Some of the Heaven Realm's experts were watching from afar. When they saw the people in the battle, they were stunned. The army of the Heavenly Realm was in an uproar. Lu Ming was actually fighting two kings of the non-human race. During this period of time, they had refreshed their understanding of Lu Ming. In the beginning, many people had speculated that Lu Ming had the strength of a peak heavenly emperor. However, they now realized that it was far from the case. Not only did Lu Ming have the strength of an invincible master, but he could also fight against two alien kings. How many people in this world could fight two non-human kings alone? This is bad. Lu Ming is at a disadvantage. If this goes on, will he be defeated? It's hard to say, but we've already reported to the invincible masters of our Heaven Realm. Soon, our invincible masters will arrive. Some people in the Heaven Realm were discussing in low voices. At this moment, a sudden change occurred. A part of the void suddenly split open, and a terrifying sword light slashed towards Lu Ming. The power of this sword light was shockingly strong. Without a doubt, another demigod-level existence had made a move. Lu Ming was shocked. He waved the Great Desolation Spear at high speed and covered his body with a layer of defense. However, in the face of this sudden attack and the attacks of the other two non-human kings, Lu Ming was still struggling. Clang! The sword hit Lu Ming's long spear. Lu Ming was sent flying and he spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. Not good. The Heaven Realm powerhouse's expressions changed. Sela. The space cracked open, and a figure walked out. Without a doubt, it was another alien king. The three non-human kings descended and surrounded Lu Ming. This person must be eliminated. The first non-human king said. He was too shocked and even a little frightened. If Lu Ming was allowed to continue growing, he did not know how far he would go. Let's join hands. Another non-human king said. Three kings of the non-human race actually want to join forces to deal with a junior of our Heaven Realm. Are you not afraid of being laughed at by the world? A sneer was heard, and a figure suddenly appeared in front of the Heavenly Realm army. This person's body was filled with endless lightning, as if he was the embodiment of lightning. Heavenly Thunder Emperor. Heavenly Thunder Emperor is here. The beings of the Heavenly Realm were overjoyed. Heavenly Lightning. The eyes of the three non-human kings narrowed. If you guys want to fight, I'll accompany you. The Heavenly Thunder Emperor said. He then turned into a bolt of lightning and charged toward a non-human king. The two of them began an intense battle. Chapter 2530 Gun Challenge Boom. Boom. Suddenly, a violent boom came from a dark void. Then, the space exploded and two figures rushed out. They exchanged a few moves and then retreated. Another two invincible figures. One of them was also a non-human king, and the other was a brawny figure in armor. It's Heavenly Tiger Emperor. Someone recognized the burly figure in battle armor. Heavenly Tiger Imperial Master, the king of the Heavenly Tiger race, was also the strongest existence in the Heavenly Tiger race. He had a cultivation of the demigod realm. The Heavenly Thunder Emperor and the non-human king exchanged more than 10 moves, and it was difficult to determine the winner. They both retreated. In the Heaven Realm, Lu Ming, Heavenly Thunder Emperor, and Heavenly Tiger Emperor were in a stalemate with the four kings of the alien race. In the sky, a terrifying pressure spread. Detestable. The non-human king who had fought with Lu Ming earlier growled unwillingly. They knew that the invincible masters of the Heaven Realm had begun to act. Even if they could call for more non-human kings, the invincible powerhouses from the Heaven Realm would arrive. This time, they could not kill Lu Ming. The non-human kings didn't move, and neither did Supreme Emperor Sky Thunder and the others. Both sides were wary of each other, and they did not have absolute confidence in defeating the other. Carve the formation and defend this place. Let's see who can rush over. In the end, the 4 non-human kings retreated back into the non-human army. They personally took charge of this place and ordered the others to strengthen the formation. Lu Ming and the rest did not give chase. Retreat 1,000,000 li, build an army camp, and surround this place. Heavenly Thunder Emperor also ordered the army of the Heaven Realm. Yes. The army of the Heavenly Realm received the order and retreated 1,000,000 miles. They began to build barracks and surround this place. The two sides were in a confrontation again. Lu Ming did not return. He retreated to a mountain peak not far away from the Heaven Realm army and sat cross-legged, beginning to comprehend and digest what he had gained from the battle just now. The news of this battle spread like wildfire in the Tai Ching Heavenly region. At this moment, the Tai Ching Heavenly region was in an uproar, as if it had experienced a magnitude 12 earthquake. Lu Ming had destroyed the alien camp outside Two World City and killed 3 peak heavenly emperors of the alien race. Lu Ming killed his way through. He killed his way into the Hunyuan Heavenly Realm, the 10,000 Spirit Heavenly Realm, and the Abysmal Heavenly Realm. He broke through 3 heavenly realms in a row. Lu Ming was at the passageway between the Netherworld Realm and the Beast God Realm. He fought with a king of the alien race and injured him. Lu Ming was not defeated by the 2 kings of the alien race. The news set off a storm in the Tai Ching Heavenly region and shocked countless people. When many people heard this news, their first reaction was disbelief. However, when they sent people to Two World City to investigate and confirm the news, they were stunned. All of this was real. Now, countless people from the Tai Ching Heavenly region had entered the Hunyuan Heavenly region, the 10,000 Spirit Heavenly region, and the 9 Nether Heavenly region. Heavens! Many people sighed. This was too crazy. Everyone knew that they had underestimated Lu Ming. Lu Ming was almost invincible now. Lu Ming, Lu Ming, Lu Ming. Every corner and every force in the Tai Ching Heavenly region was talking about this name. Lu Ming's reputation had reached its peak. After that, all the forces began to send people to the Hunyuan, 10,000 Spirit, and 9 Serenity's heavenly domains. These 3 heavenly regions had been occupied by the alien races for countless years. As for the foreign races, they cultivated differently from the beings of the Heaven Realm. The treasures they needed were also very different at times. There might be some treasures in these 3 heavenly regions that the alien races couldn't use, but they were very useful to the living beings in the Heaven Realm. Therefore, there must be many precious treasures in the 3 heavenly regions waiting for people to explore. Countless beings swarmed into the 3 heavenly regions and began to pick and excavate the treasures. At the passageway between the 2 realms, the 2 armies had been in a stalemate. Lu Ming went into closed-door cultivation. He came out after a few months. Lu Ming had gained something from the previous battle and his understanding of the battle character formula had deepened. However, he still did not break through the bottleneck. There seemed to be a barrier that was blocking him and was difficult to break through. Lu Ming had a feeling that as long as the battle character formula broke through the bottleneck, its power would definitely increase greatly. It would allow his combat strength to enter a new realm. Not enough. We need to continue the battle. Lu Ming muttered. He then took a step forward and walked toward the alien tribe army. Lu Ming attracted the attention of countless people the moment he moved. Where is Lu Ming going? Could it be that we're going to fight the evil god tribe again? Many people were guessing and watching from afar. This was especially so for those who had arrived later. They had not seen Lu Ming in action earlier and could not help but look forward to it. Lu Ming has come to challenge you. Evil god race, who wants to come out and fight? Lu Ming held his long spear and stood in front of the alien army. Lu Ming's voice spread throughout the alien army. The non-human army fell silent. The evil god tribe is so big, yet no one dares to fight them. What a disappointment. Lu Ming said again. Detestable. Many of the evil god tribe members gritted their teeth. However, no one stepped out to fight. Lu Ming's combat strength was too terrifying. Other than the unrivaled powerhouse, everyone else had come to die. Boom! 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 Terrifying auras erupted from the non-human army, and a few non-human kings stepped out with cold eyes. You finally dare to come out. Who wants to fight me? Lu Ming glanced at the few non-human kings. Such arrogance, I'll go and meet him. One of the kings roared. Be careful. Lu Ming is really very powerful. The alien king who was the first to fight with Lu Ming instructed. I will be careful. The non-human king nodded. He took a step forward and appeared not far from Lu Ming. They had no choice but to accept Lu Ming's challenge. You're alone. No, let's do another one. Lu Ming said indifferently, looking very unhappy. He was really unhappy. A non-human king wasn't much of a threat to him. Arrogant, kill. The non-human king flew into a rage at being looked down upon by Lu Ming. He charged toward Lu Ming. The heavenly Tao soldier used by this king was a long spear. The long spear pierced through the air and stabbed toward Lu Ming. Buzz! Lu Ming shook his great desolation spear and charged at the other party. Clang! 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 Whoosh! 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 The two of them continued to collide with each other, causing a deafening boom to ring out. One after another, spear radiance and spear shadows crisscrossed, piercing through the heavens and earth. It was terrifying to the extreme. Terrifying, so terrifying. This power is not something we can resist. Is this the battle strength of an unrivaled expert? It was the first time for many of the beings in the heaven realm to see the unparalleled experts fight, and they were shocked. Lu Ming and the non-human king exchanged dozens of blows. At this time, the non-human king was at a disadvantage. This time, Lu Ming did not hold back. He used his full strength. The power of his body and the Tao of domination pushed the battle formula to its limit. Chapter 2531 Ruins of End Battlefield. Lu Ming was like an invincible god of war as he charged at the non-human king. The non-human king was forced to retreat. He was accidentally hit by Lu Ming's long spear and retreated while spitting out blood. Amazing, amazing. Kill him. The heaven realm beings cried out in excitement. They hoped that Lu Ming could kill the other party. If they could kill even one of the unrivaled experts of the other party, it would be enough to make the evil god race feel the pinch. I've said it before, you can't do it alone. Lu Ming said coldly. The non-human king's face was extremely ugly. I'll go help him. Another non-human king in the army gritted his teeth. He took a step forward and charged at Lu Ming with a sword in his hand. Now this is more like it. Lu Ming laughed and waved his spear, fighting the two kings. The remaining non-human kings wanted to make a move, but the Heavenly Thunder Emperor and the Heavenly Tiger Emperor had already set their eyes on each other. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming and the two non-human kings began an intense battle. Lu Ming was still at a disadvantage. He was no match for the two non-human kings. However, the situation was slightly better than the last time. Previously, Lu Ming could only defend and could not retaliate. However, this time, Lu Ming could occasionally retaliate and fight with the other party. He would probably be able to counterattack once in every 20 moves. Just like that, the two sides fought for more than 300 moves. At this moment, Lu Ming finally felt that he was no match for them. He had used up a lot of his world energy. Bang! Lu Ming rushed out of the other party's encirclement and retreated 10,000 miles. That's it for today. Let's fight another day. Lu Ming laughed and took a step forward, leaving the place. Damn it. The kings of the non-human race bellowed in anger. However, they were helpless. After exchanging so many blows, they had exhausted themselves and could not stop Lu Ming. He's using us to train himself. One of the non-human kings said coldly. With their wisdom, they naturally knew Lu Ming's plan. Lu Ming returned to the place where he went into seclusion the last time and continued to cultivate and comprehend the battle character formula. He had also gained a lot from this battle. This time, Lu Ming had been in seclusion for a year. His understanding of the battle formula had deepened. Naturally, his strength had also increased. However, he still could not break through the bottleneck of the battle formula. He was stuck there and it made Lu Ming very uncomfortable. Lu Ming came to the front of the alien army and began to challenge the alien king. But this time, the kings didn't fight at all. They knew Lu Ming's plan. He wanted to use them to train himself. They would not fight and let Lu Ming benefit from it. Unfortunately, they had underestimated Lu Ming. Seeing that the non-human king was not coming out, Lu Ming began to curse. The more he cursed, the worse his words became. Even the ordinary evil god tribe members' eyes were burning with anger, let alone the non-human king. They wanted to come out and fight Lu Ming to the death. Damn it, I'm going to slaughter this brat. One of the non-human kings roared. He could not take it anymore and rushed out of the camp to fight Lu Ming. Lu Ming revealed a smile. He had been hanging out with Dandan for so long, so of course he had learned a lot. If you don't come out, he'll scold you until you doubt your life. Let's go out together and kill him. The other non-human kings were filled with killing intent. They went out together to kill Lu Ming. However, in the Heaven Realm, Heavenly Thunder Emperor and Heavenly Tiger Emperor had been paying attention to this side for a long time. As soon as the kings moved, they also came out and blocked two of them, only letting one pass. A total of 2 non-human kings were fighting Lu Ming. This time, it was better than a year ago. Lu Ming had improved a lot. A year ago, Lu Ming could only counterattack once every 20 moves he made when he faced 2 kings of the mutated tribe. However, this time, Lu Ming could counterattack once in every 10 moves. It was much easier to deal with him. This monster. The non-human king was shocked. Lu Ming's improvement was too shocking. He could improve a little after every big battle. After a few hundred moves, Lu Ming felt that it was about time and retreated. Next time, I definitely can't fight. The kings of the other races looked at each other and made a decision. Lu Ming continued to cultivate in seclusion. He only came out after a year. I still haven't broken through. What's going on? This battle formula is really hard to cultivate. Lu Ming sighed. He felt that the difficulty of cultivating the battle character formula was even more difficult and profound than the path of domination. Evil god race, get out here and fight me. Lu Ming ran to the front of the evil god tribe's army and started his challenge. But the non-humankind army was silent. What's wrong? You don't dare to fight? Isn't the great evil god race high and mighty? To think that you don't even dare to fight. How embarrassing, aren't you all very strong? You don't even dare to fight me, someone who has cultivated for hundreds of years. What a bunch of trash. If I were you, I would just destroy my own cultivation. King of the outsiders, are you guys the reincarnation of a turtle? Lu Ming started to curse. The more he cursed, the worse his words became. However, the king of the non-human race just stayed in the military camp and did not come out to fight. Damn it! When the 2 divine ancestors recover, he'll definitely crush this Lu Ming's bones and scatter his ashes. One of the more irascible non-human kings roared. He was furious. They were the kings of the non-human race, the overlords of the evil god tribe. In the evil god tribe, they were high and mighty figures who ruled over an area. But now, in front of the countless evil god tribe troops, they were being scolded so badly by Lu Ming. The most important thing was that they could only hide and not fight. It was too depressing. Furthermore, it was a huge blow to the evil god tribe's morale. However, they had no choice but to go out and fight. Instead, they helped Lu Ming. Don't worry. It won't take long for the two divine ancestors to recover. Once they recover, Lu Ming will be nothing. The divine ancestors can suppress them with a flip of their hands. When the heaven realm is flattened and the sky is opened, we can all break through to the martial god realm and become gods. The other king was much calmer. Split open the heavens. God. The eyes of the other non-human kings all lit up. They had been stuck at the demigod realm for too long, but in the evil god realm and heaven realm, they had reached their limits and couldn't break through at all. Only by successfully splitting open the sky could they break through. Lu Ming cursed for a long time outside, but the king of the non-human race did not fight. These guys probably already know that I'm using them to train myself, so they're all hiding. Lu Ming muttered. Humph, do you think I have no way to deal with you just because you're hiding? Then I'll go to the ruins of End battlefield now. Lu Ming muttered. The battlefield of the ruins of End was another battlefield. There were two battlefields in the Tai Ching heavenly region. One of them was the battlefield in the Two-World City, which was connected to the Hunyuan heavenly region. One of the ruins of End battlefields was connected to the ancient demon territory. Sila. Lu Ming tore open the space and stepped in. Lu Ming wanted to travel through the long space and enter the battlefield of the ultimate. This kind of long-distance cross-realm travel could only be done by peak Heavenly Emperor and above. Chapter 2532 Eternal Cage. The dark void contained a terrifying spatial storm. However, if it was only a short distance, even great emperors could block it. However, once the distance was too long and the speed was too fast, the spatial storm would be terrifying, especially when it crossed worlds. From one world to another world, the distance was too long. Not only did he have to have a powerful force to travel through the void, but he also had to face a terrifying spatial storm. Hoo. Lu Ming shuttled through the void at an astonishing speed. He felt as if the endless void flashed past him. However, at the same time, a terrifying void storm energy formed in the void and continuously attacked him. This kind of energy could even pass through Lu Ming's body and attack his Dantian and Sea of Consciousness. It would cause a terrifying impact on the small world or the world in the mountain and river diagram. This was also why ordinary peak heavenly emperors and even invincible powerhouses could travel through the void and enter another world from one world. However, they could only move alone and couldn't bring anyone else. This was because if you brought someone else along, they would also be killed by the energy of the Netherstorm. It would be useless even if he hid it in a small world or an Eden treasure. Of course, if a martial god had a small world in his body, he could still resist. However, the ancestral dragon and the non-human divine ancestor didn't cultivate the nomological system and didn't have a small world. Therefore, when Zhu Long brought the people from the prison guarding field to the heaven realm, it was the world formed by the prison guarding steel that could do it. I wonder if my ruler's power can withstand the impact of the void storm. I'll give it a try. Lu Ming had an idea. He gathered the ruler's power to the periphery of the small world in his Dantian and enveloped the small world. Bang! 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 The terrifying void storm continued to bombard the ruler's power, but it didn't penetrate the small world. It's effective. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Didn't this mean that he could bring people from one world to another? Lu Ming had many thoughts in his mind. The void around them flashed continuously. Lu Ming's speed was extremely fast. After at most 1 to 2 hours, Lu Ming's eyes suddenly flickered. He swung his palm forward and the void split open. Lu Ming walked out. What came into view was a majestic city that was not inferior to Two-World City. This was returning Bamboo City. And Lu Ming appeared on the battlefield outside the city of the ruins of End. In just an hour or two, Lu Ming had arrived at the battlefield of the ultimate from the netherworld realm, crossing several heavenly realms. Lu Ming did not enter the city of the ruins of End. Instead, he headed toward the evil god tribe's military camp. Then. It seems to be Lu Ming, it's indeed Lu Ming. He's in Return Bamboo City. Didn't he kill his way to the abysmal heavenly region? Could it be that he is going to attack the evil god tribe's military camp? Let's go take a look. Many people in Return Bamboo City were excited to see Lu Ming. They flew out of the city wall and followed Lu Ming. Lu Ming walked in the air at an extremely fast speed. Not long after, an endless military camp appeared in front of him. This was the evil god tribe's military camp that was stationed at the entrance of the ancient demon heaven domain. Boom! Lu Ming was very direct. When he approached the enemy's military camp, he immediately pulled the trigger. An incomparably huge spear descended from the sky, blasting down toward the evil god tribe's military camp with an extremely terrifying might. Activate the formation, activate the formation. A series of roars rang out from the evil god tribe's military camp. The entire camp was filled with a dazzling light that formed a light barrier that enveloped the entire camp. Just as Lu Ming's spear was about to strike the light shield, two shocking auras burst out from the evil god tribe's military camp. Two terrifying attacks soared into the sky and struck Lu Ming's spear. Buzz! The long spear trembled and was sent flying back. Two demigods. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. From the looks of it, the evil god tribe was well prepared. They had sent invincible figures to guard their camp, afraid that it would be the same as the last time and their camp would be broken through. Lu Ming. In the non-human camp, two loud roars were heard. Then, two figures rushed out with a terrifying aura toward Lu Ming. Good. Lu Ming was not shocked. Instead, he was overjoyed. He charged forward and fought with his opponent. Although the two non-human kings were able to suppress Lu Ming and gain the upper hand, Lu Ming was able to counterattack once every 10 moves this time. He had improved significantly. The battle between the two parties was extremely intense. After exchanging a few hundred moves, Lu Ming finally retreated. Damn it, this Lu Ming is really terrifying, he's using us to train himself. The next time he comes to challenge us, we don't have to care about him. We just have to focus on defense. Alright. The two unparalleled powerful beings of the foreign races returned to the evil god tribe's military camp. Lu Ming found a secret place and went into seclusion to comprehend. After cultivating for a period of time, Lu Ming came out of seclusion. This time, he felt that the battle character formula had improved again. He was only a step away from breaking through the bottleneck. It was as if he could break through at any time, but he couldn't, as if he was lacking something. Find someone else to fight. Lu Ming went to the non-human camp for a challenge, but the unrivaled powerhouse of the non-human race refused to fight. In a fit of rage, Lu Ming attacked the non-human camp. The two unparalleled powerhouses of the non-human race joined forces and blocked Lu Ming's attack. However, they merely defended and did not take the initiative to attack. Lu Ming was so angry that he vomited blood. It was obvious that the non-human expert had seen through his intentions. Lu Ming paced in front of the alien camp for a while but could not find a chance to fight. After that, he returned to the netherworld realm to challenge them. It was the same. The alien races did not fight. As long as they could stall for time until the non-human divine ancestor and sacred ancestor Bloodheart recovered, they would be able to fight back. You don't want to fight? Then I'll kill my way to your side. Lu Ming's eyes flickered with madness. Then, he tore open the space and rushed directly towards the evil god world. The evil god world was very far from the Nine Heavens domain, but there was a void passage that connected it to the Nine Heavens domain. Of course, Lu Ming did not want to pass through this void channel. He shuttled through the void directly and rushed toward the evil god world. Not long after, when Lu Ming tore open the space again and went out, he had already arrived at the evil god realm. There are still many masters from the prison guard field and the heaven realm in the eternal cage. This time, well, save them all. The first thing that came to Lu Ming's mind when he arrived at the evil god realm was the eternal cage. Back then, they had left in a hurry and had only taken 100 or so people with them. The powerhouses imprisoned in the eternal cage were not just 100 or so. This time, Lu Ming wanted to bring all of them out. Anyway, Lu Ming's way of being a master could protect the small world when he traversed the void. Lu Ming took a step forward and his figure disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already outside the eternal cage. From a distance, one could see that the eternal cage was covered by a light screen, and at the very top, there was a treasure. Is that the treasure of the divine ancestor of the non-human race? Lu Ming muttered. That treasure might be a treasure that surpassed the heavenly Tao soldiers, but it wasn't at the level of a divine artifact. It was only in the middle of the heavenly Tao soldiers and divine artifacts. Chapter 2534 Shattering the Eternal Cage. Lu Ming did not hesitate much. He headed straight for the eternal cage and arrived under the light screen. Lu Ming waved his hand and used the way of the master on the light screen. Now, Lu Ming's understanding and control of the way of domination were many times stronger than before. He broke through the light screen easily and rushed in. However, at this moment, somewhere in the eternal cage, an old man with purple hair and a face full of wrinkles suddenly opened his eyes. Someone actually managed to sneak into the eternal cage. He's looking for death. The old man growled, and the killing intent he exuded was extremely cold. He was the expert who had replaced Duo Lei to guard the eternal cage. Furthermore, he was even stronger than Duo Lei. He wasn't a peak heavenly emperor, but an unrivaled expert at the demigod level. Exterminate. The elder's aura was powerful as he waved his hands and controlled the non-human divine ancestor's treasure. Buzz. The treasure started to shake and gave off a bright light. Beams of light, like divine swords, slashed toward Lu Ming. At this moment, the entire eternal cage was alarmed. What's going on? The Great Formation has been activated, and the murderous intent is so cold. What does Ao Gu want to do? Could it be that someone is trying to escape and has angered Ao Gu? At this moment, all the living beings in the eternal cage were alarmed. They all came out of their secret chambers and looked at each other as they speculated. Lu Ming was running at high speed in a passageway when he suddenly stopped. It seems that I've been discovered. Lu Ming frowned. He had thought that he would be able to fool the other party through the myriad world cage, but it seemed like he had already been exposed. Since he had been exposed, he might as well fight. Whoosh! Whoosh! Beams of light pierced through the mountain and the stone chamber, aiming at Lu Ming. The power was shocking. This light came from the treasure of the divine ancestor. It was so powerful that it could kill a peak heavenly emperor. However, Lu Ming's combat strength was not at the peak of the heavenly emperor realm. The great desolation spear appeared. With a shake, it shot out rays of spear radiance. Boom! 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 The spear radiance collided with the radiance, creating a deafening boom. The terrifying force struck the surrounding stone chambers. Even though the stone chambers were engraved with arrays, they could not withstand the force and were blown apart. Let's go, retreat to the center. Many figures rushed out of the secret chamber and headed for the center of the eternal cage. Demigod-level combat power. On the other side, the old man's name was Ao Gu. His eyes shone with a cold light as he took a step forward and charged towards Lu Ming. At the same time, he controlled the non-human divine ancestor's treasure to form beams of light and attack Lu Ming. The eternal cage ends here. I'll destroy it today. Lu Ming said coldly. His body burst into the air, and his long spear went against the flow. It destroyed a few rays of light in a row and swept out with the long spear. Boom! Boom! The entire mountain was disintegrating and exploding. However, Lu Ming controlled his strength very well. He only attacked the mountain and did not hurt the living beings inside. In the end, the entire mountain exploded. Under Lu Ming's power, it turned into ashes and his line of sight widened. Lu Ming swept his gaze and saw a large group of people gathered at the center of the eternal cage. There were more than 1,000 people. They were all living beings locked up in the eternal cage. Buzz! Buzz! From all corners of the eternal cage, there were experts in blood-red armor who were charging toward Lu Ming. KM. Lu Ming shouted coldly. He shook the Great Desolation spear and shot out beams of spear radiance at the alien races in blood-red armor. Some of these alien races were at the Great Emperor realm and some were at the Heavenly Emperor realm. However, they could not resist at all. They were pierced by Lu Ming's spear radiance and died instantly. So strong, who is that? It seems to be Lu Ming. My God, it's really Lu Ming. Didn't he escape? Why did you come back? The people in the eternal cage recognized Lu Ming and were extremely shocked. Back then, Lu Ming had escaped but he had returned now. Moreover, his combat strength was shockingly strong. Enter my small world and I'll take you out. Lu Ming said to those people. Leave. Everyone was stunned. Leave. Today, no one can leave. A cold voice was heard, and a terrifying aura spread toward Lu Ming. In the next moment, an old man with dry and wrinkled skin appeared. It was Ao Gu. We're finished. Many people thought. Ao Gu was an unrivaled powerhouse. Moreover, they were in the eternal cage. Ao Gu could control the treasure of the non-human race's divine ancestor. Lu Ming was definitely dead. Many people sighed. They did not understand why Lu Ming came back so stupidly after he had escaped. He looked as if he was going to fight Ao Gu. Where did he get the courage? It was not that they were hostile to Lu Ming. They just felt that Lu Ming's actions were somewhat unbelievable. Soit's a half-god. The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled up slightly. No wonder he was discovered the moment he entered. If there was only one peak Heavenly Emperor in charge, it would be impossible for him to be discovered so quickly. It seemed that after they escaped the last time, the foreign race had also raised their vigilance and sent a demigod to guard the eternal cage. Brat, die, die. Ao Gu shouted coldly. He controlled the treasure of the non-human race's divine ancestor. Beams of terrifying light shot toward Lu Ming. You're the one who's going to die. Lu Ming said coldly. He took a step forward and his long spear was like a rainbow. It destroyed the rainbow lights and charged towards Ao Gu. Boom! The Great Desolation spear rapidly grew in size and shot towards Ao Gu. Ao Gu's expression changed. An iron rod appeared in his hand and he swung it at Lu Ming. Clang! A terrifying tremor erupted. Then, everyone saw a figure constantly retreating. It was Ao Gu. Ao Gu retreated dozens of steps before he could stabilize himself. His face was pale as he looked at Lu Ming in shock. He was not the only one. The others in the eternal cage were the same. They were all dumbfounded, thinking that they had seen wrong. Not only had Lu Ming destroyed the attack launched by the divine ancestor's treasure, but he had also forced Ao Gu to retreat with a single strike. How was this possible? Lu Ming's ability was too terrifying and shocking. They knew very well that when Lu Ming first entered the eternal cage, he could barely fight against a one-star celestial arch. However, only a few hundred years had passed, and Lu Ming could actually defeat an unrivaled powerhouse. Such a speed of improvement was simply a miracle. Many people's faces turned red. Previously, they felt that it was unwise for Lu Ming to run away and come back now. However, they understood now that it was not Lu Ming who was being unwise. They were ignorant. Lu Ming was back. He was clearly confident. Many people were excited. They hoped that Lu Ming could defeat Ao Gu and bring them out. How is that possible? Ao Gu was also shocked. He did not expect Lu Ming to have such powerful combat strength. Damn it, go to hell. Ao Gu roared, using all the power of the divine ancestors' treasure. Chapter 2534 Various Kings Moving Buzz. The treasure of the divine ancestor of the non-human race glowed with a dazzling light. Rays of sword-like light slashed at Lu Ming with even greater power. At the same time, Ao Gu himself also charged toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming shook his long spear to fight against the rays of light. He also wanted to fight against Ao Gu. Boom! Boom! The area was filled with explosions and terrifying energy. Lu Ming separated a trace of his nominator power to block the creatures from the prison realm and heaven realm. Otherwise, the overflowing chi would have killed them. There were more than 10 consecutive explosions, and he was forced back 10 steps. The power of the divine ancestors' treasure is truly astonishing. Lu Ming had a thought. At this moment, Ao Gu was madly activating the treasure of the non-human race's divine ancestor. The power that erupted was extremely powerful. It was equivalent to the attack of a demigod master. With Ao Gu's own strength, Lu Ming was at a disadvantage. However, the divine ancestor's treasure was only a treasure after all. It was not a truly invincible expert and still needed Ao Gu to control it. In this way, it did not give Lu Ming as much pressure as the two unparalleled experts. The reason why Lu Ming was pushed back was that he had to divert his attention to protecting the people from the prison suppression field and the heaven realm. We have to end this quickly. The commotion here will probably alarm the upper echelons of the evil god tribe very soon. Lu Ming pondered in his heart. Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron, appear. Lu Ming mumbled. His glabella glowed, and the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron flew out. It grew rapidly and blasted toward the light emitted by the divine ancestor's treasure. Clang! Clang! The light struck the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. Although the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron kept shaking, it managed to block the attack. The divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron was refined by the ancestral dragon and the 9 dragons together. With the ancestral dragon's help, its grade had already surpassed the Heaven Dao soldiers. Although it had not reached the level of a divine artifact, its power was still shocking. In terms of grade, it wasn't any weaker than the treasure of the non-human divine ancestor. In addition, with Lu Ming's current cultivation base, the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron's power was even more terrifying. It blocked the attack of the divine ancestor's treasure in one move. Kill, stop! Lu Ming shouted. Now that he had blocked the treasure, he could focus on dealing with Ao Gu. Whoosh! Lu Ming became one with his spear and charged towards Ao Gu. Ao Gu's pupils shrank. He also attacked with his full power. Thump! Boom! The two of them exchanged a few blows. Ao Gu was violently shaken. His body was sent flying backward, crashing into a broken wall and shattering it into pieces. Buzz! Lu Ming did not give Ao Gu any chance to catch his breath. He quickly charged over and launched a storm of attacks. One after another, the spear shadows overlapped and enveloped Ao Gu. How is this possible? How can he be this strong? Ao Gu was shocked. He tried his best to resist, but he was at a complete disadvantage. He was not Lu Ming's match. One had to know that his cultivation had already reached the demigod realm. To be able to reach this level, which one of them wasn't an unparalleled genius with shocking talent? Who could be stronger than who? Their combat strength was almost the same. Even if there were outstanding talents such as the Primal Chaos Emperor and the Undying Emperor, they were not this powerful even though they were strong and could suppress demigods of the same level. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 moves had been exchanged. Ao Gu was whipped by Lu Ming's long spear. A large hole was blasted in his body, and blood flowed out. Now, Lu Ming's abilities were getting stronger and stronger. He could fight 2 demigod-level figures for a few hundred moves without being defeated, let alone a demigod. It was completely one-sided. Boom! The two of them exchanged another blow and directly charged out of the area covered by the restriction of the eternal cage. Damn it, how did this happen? Where did this monster come from? Ao Gu roared in his heart. He had a very high seniority in the evil god race and had existed since ancient times. In the past, he had always been in seclusion and had only been invited out recently to take charge of the eternal cage. In the past few years, Lu Ming had been showing off his power in the heaven realm. He did not know about it, so he was naturally shocked. I have to hold on. The divine ancestor should sense it soon. When the reinforcements arrive, this kid will be dead. Ao Gu gritted his teeth and defended with all his strength. He didn't want to win, but he wanted to avoid any mistakes. At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared on the peak of the evil god tribe's holy mountain. This figure was the non-human divine ancestor. However, this wasn't the true body of the non-human divine ancestor, but his projection. His true body was still healing. Lu Ming, you're really bold. The non-human divine ancestor's eyes were cold. He could sense what was happening over there through the eternal cage. Buzz. Jade tokens appeared in his hand. Then, inscriptions appeared and entered the jade tokens. Then, the jade tokens turned into rays of light and flew into the dark void, disappearing at an astonishing speed. Lu Ming, you actually dared to come to the evil god realm. This time, well, completely get rid of this future trouble. The foreign divine ancestor murmured. At this moment, in the evil god world, in a magnificent palace, a middle-aged man wearing a crown was discussing matters in the main hall. Suddenly, he stretched out his hand and received a jade talisman. Lu Ming, it's this Lu Ming again. He's courting death. A cold glint flashed in the eyes of the king of the foreign tribe. This king has important matters to attend to, you all withdraw first. Yes. His subordinates retreated one after another. The king of the non-human race took a step forward and disappeared. In another king's city, another king also received a jade talisman and left the palace. A few non-human kings who were guarding the non-human army in the 9 nether heavenly domain also received the jade talismans. Damn it, Lu Ming actually ran to the eternal cage. He's courting death. The two of you stay here and guard the place. Well, go back and hunt Lu Ming down. Of the 4 kings, 2 stayed and 2 left. They tore open space and charged towards the evil god world. A non-human king from the returning ruined city's camp had also returned to the evil god world. At this moment, a total of 7 demigod non-human experts were rushing toward the eternal cage. However, the non-human divine ancestor didn't attack. He was just a projection, and his strength was far inferior to his actual body. At most, he was equivalent to a peak heavenly emperor, so he couldn't do much even if he attacked. Boom! Boom! Over at the eternal cage, the battle was still ongoing. Lu Ming completely suppressed Ao Gu. The long spear struck down like a storm. Ao Gu was like a small boat in the sea that could be drowned by the sea water at any time. Kill, kill, kill. Lu Ming let out a long howl and exerted his strength to the extreme. Ao Gu was fully focused on defense. How could Lu Ming not know what he was thinking? He was stalling for time and waiting for help. How could Lu Ming let him have his wish? Bang! Lu Ming's spear swept across Ao Gu. Ao Gu screamed in pain and flew out. His body directly exploded and was split into two. However, the two halves of Aogu's body instantly fused together. His muscles wriggled as he tried to recover. However, his aura had weakened greatly. Kill! Lu Ming charged over. Although Aogu tried his best to block, his combat strength had been weakened. How could he block it? After a few moves, he was hit by Lu Ming again. This time, it was even worse. His body exploded and turned into dust, leaving only his head behind. Chapter 2535 Surrounded Aogu was terrified. With only his head left, he retreated like crazy. He didn't want to give up. He still wanted to resist, hoping that reinforcements could come. However, Lu Ming took a step forward and blocked his way out. Aogu revealed a despairing look. Lu Ming, you've killed me, and you'll die sooner or later. The ancestral dragon is stubborn and has defied the will of the gods. On the day the sky is split open, divine punishment will descend, and you'll all die. Aogu roared, his face incomparably ferocious. Split open the sky. What is splitting open the sky? Lu Ming asked. Ha ha ha, the ancestral dragon has gone against the will of the gods and sealed off the sky. He's already on the path of no return. Aogu laughed. At this moment, Lu Ming's expression changed. You're pretty fast. Lu Ming's eyes flickered and a great desolation spear in his hand shot out rapidly. Pfft. This time, Aogu couldn't avoid it and his head was pierced through by the great desolation spear. His soul was also destroyed. After killing Aogu, Lu Ming put away the great desolation spear. In a flash, he flew back to the eternal cage. The restrictions of the eternal cage could not stop Lu Ming at all. Aogu, he's dead. At this moment, the people in the eternal cage were shocked beyond words. Aogu was actually killed by Lu Ming. He was an unrivaled powerhouse. As long as the war god didn't appear, he would be invincible. This was an unrivaled powerhouse. As long as the martial god did not appear, the unrivaled powerhouse would almost never die, unless he was besieged by multiple experts of the same level. But now, Lu Ming had killed an unrivaled powerhouse all by himself. It was like a legend. It was too shocking to see this scene with their own eyes. Hurry, there's no time. Enter my small world and I'll take you away. Lu Ming shouted and waved his hand. A light screen enveloped everyone. Then, with a flash, everyone was kept into the small world. Lu Ming, you're courting death. At this moment, an angry roar sounded between heaven and earth. See La. The sky cracked open, and a figure appeared in the air, exuding an extremely powerful aura. It was a non-human king. After this non-human king appeared, another non-human king appeared in another direction. Their eyes were filled with cold killing intent. As soon as they arrived, they could sense that Aogu had been killed. This was a demigod that had survived since ancient times. Since ancient times, the evil god race had not given birth to many demigods. This was a huge loss. Lu Ming, I'm going to burn your bones and scatter your ashes. A non-human king roared and launched an attack on Lu Ming. I don't have time to play with you. Lu Ming dashed in another direction and passed through the restriction. He was about to tear the space and escape. However, the next moment, Lu Ming's expression changed and he retreated rapidly. Buzz! The space cracked open and a terrifying battle-axe was slashing toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's long spear swept out and blocked the axe. Then, a burly figure appeared. This was a noble of the evil god race. He was not a member of the royal family, but his aura was equally terrifying. He was also an unrivaled expert at the demigod level. The evil god tribe was not a royal tribe, so they could cultivate to the demigod level. Ordinary members of the evil god race and their aristocrats could also cultivate to the demigod level. The royal family of the evil god tribe only had purer bloodlines, higher talents, and more powerful experts. As for the ordinary members of the evil god race and the aristocrats of the evil god race, it was a little more difficult for them to cultivate to the demigod level. However, it was not impossible. The three demigods surrounded Lu Ming. However, this was not the end. Behind Lu Ming, the space cracked open and another king of the alien race appeared. The fourth one. Lu Ming's eyes turned solemn. Buzz. Lu Ming suddenly moved and rushed toward the sky. Stay. The two kings of the non-human race joined forces and charged toward Lu Ming, blocking his path. Boom. Boom. There were two consecutive terrifying explosions and Lu Ming was blocked. There was a non-human king who was even stronger than the other kings. This non-human king looked different from the other non-human kings. He had long, fiery red hair and a pair of wings on his back that were suffused with fiery red flames. His appearance was very similar to Kong Duo, who was ranked second on the evil god tribe's longevity roll. Each of this person's moves carried a terrifying flame that seemed to want to burn the heavenly Tao. After Lu Ming was blocked, the other two demigods charged at him at the same time. Buzz. Lu Ming waved his long spear rapidly and defended his surroundings tightly. However, there was still a huge gap between him and the four invincible powerhouses. The continuous attacks caused his long spear to stagnate. Then, an attack landed on his body. Bang! Lu Ming's body was sent flying and he spat out a large mouthful of blood. Buzz! Buzz! Whoosh! The four demigods of the evil god tribe charged toward Lu Ming again. Run! At this moment, there was only one word in Lu Ming's heart, and that was to escape. He understood that he was no match for four demigods. If he stayed to fight, he would die. The Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. With a single thought, Lu Ming took out the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron and attacked the two non-human kings. He seized the opportunity to break through their defense and escape. Lu Ming, you're going to die today. A cold voice was heard. Then, the space cracked and two more figures appeared, launching an attack on Lu Ming. Two more kings. Moreover, Lu Ming recognized the two of them. They had fought with each other before. They were the two foreign tribe kings who were guarding the abysmal heavenly region. See La. Then, another non-human king appeared from another direction. He was coming from returning Bamboo City. There were a total of 7 demigod-level beings. Boom! Boom! One attack after another was launched at Lu Ming. Faced with so many attacks, Lu Ming could not withstand them at all. He was sent flying, his body cracked and bleeding profusely. He almost burst open. He circulated the indestructible ancient scroll with all his might to recover from his injuries. I must escape, I will definitely escape. Even when facing the 7 demigods, Lu Ming remained calm and raised his strength to the maximum. Whoosh! Whoosh! In front of him, a sword and a long spear were charging toward Lu Ming. Above his head, a battle axe and an iron rod were blasted toward Lu Ming. There were attacks from the right, back, and left. Block it, block it, block it, Lu Ming's eyes shone brightly. His physical strength, the power of the path of domination, and the battle character formula were all used to the extreme. The great desolation spear trembled and turned into a shocking spear radiance that attacked in all directions. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming's spear's gleam was scattered. After all, it was not powerful enough. It was crushed by the demigods of the non-human race. Lu Ming was sent flying again. He was hit by a combat sword and his body was almost cut in half. However, his life force was still extremely vigorous. With the help of the indestructible ancient scroll, he was recovering rapidly. It's the indestructible ancient scroll. So it's in your hands. One of the non-human kings said coldly. He recognized the indestructible ancient scroll. Chapter 2537 Battle Formula, Breakthrough. So what if you have the indestructible ancient scroll? Back then, we killed the immortal venerable sovereign. Obliterate him. Cold voices rang out one after another. The 7 demigods of the non-human race did not stop attacking Lu Ming. Lu Ming could only focus on defense. However, the 7 demigods working together were too terrifying. No one in the world could stop them except for the martial god. If it had been any other demigod, they would have been instantly blown up by the joint attack of 7 experts of the same level. Lu Ming had only blocked a few of their attacks and was hit again. This time, his injuries were even more serious. More than half of his body had exploded, and his internal organs could be clearly seen. Some of his internal organs had even turned into ashes. Lu Ming's face turned pale and he vomited a large mouthful of blood. He's going to die. Attack and completely destroy him. A few non-human kings became excited. Lu Ming's talent was too shocking. They were a little frightened. It was a great thing to be able to kill Lu Ming now. You want to kill me? You can't do it. A fruit appeared in Lu Ming's hand and he swallowed it in one gulp. It was the life fruit. Boom! After swallowing the life fruit seemed to explode and turned into endless life energy that enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming's injuries recovered rapidly. His body, which had exploded, grew back completely in an instant. It was simply a miracle. This was the effect of the life fruit. The fruit of life, it's the fruit of life from Netherworld Mountain. The ancestral dragon is actually willing to give him a fruit of life. A non-human king exclaimed in envy. They had thought that the fruit of life was given to Lu Ming by the ancestral dragon. After all, the non-human divine ancestor and the others had obtained a total of 11 fruits of life when they entered Netherworld Mountain, but none of them had been given out. They had all been consumed and refined by the non-human divine ancestor and the sacred ancestor Bloodheart. Therefore, when they saw the life fruit, they were naturally envious. Kill him and extract his blood. There's still medicinal effects. One of the non-human kings said coldly as he charged at Lu Ming. He wanted to kill Lu Ming and extract his blood. Kill! 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 The other non-human demigods also charged toward Lu Ming. Come on, come on. There was a crazed look in Lu Ming's eyes. His injuries had almost recovered after consuming the life fruit. He had raised his abilities to the maximum. In this life and death crisis, he seemed to see the bottleneck of the battle character formula, as if he could break through this bottleneck at any time. The Great Desolation Spear bloomed in Lu Ming's hands and shot out beams of dazzling spear radiance at the 7 non-human demigods. Bang! 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 Clang! 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 The two sides continued to collide. Lu Ming was still no match for them and he was severely injured in the collision. However, the life fruit was indeed mysterious and its medicinal effects were shocking. Lu Ming's blood was filled with strong vitality. Once Lu Ming was injured, he would recover quickly. As long as he was not killed in an instant, Lu Ming could recover very quickly. For this reason, he managed to withstand the opponent's attack. Soon. In such a desperate situation, Lu Ming's mind was highly focused. He used the battle character formula to the extreme. The life fruit's medicinal effects are too strong. It's hard to kill him like this. A non-human king roared. Then he'll completely refine him. The non-human king, who was covered in flames, spoke coldly. Then, his third eye shone brightly and a furnace appeared from it. Then, the non-human king's body shrank rapidly and disappeared into the furnace. The furnace burst out with a terrifying devouring power, wanting to devour Lu Ming. The other 6 kings of the foreign races worked together and attacked Lu Ming continuously, trying to throw him into the furnace. Lu Ming resisted with all his might, but his body was still moving towards the furnace. Before he even entered, the terrifying temperature was already making his skin hurt. This was a terrifying attack method that Lu Ming had seen before. Back then, at the foot of the evil god tribe's holy mountain, Lu Ming had challenged the longevity roll and fought Kong Duo, who was ranked second on the longevity roll. In the end, Kong Duo had also used this move, and its power was indeed shocking. This non-human king's attack was much more powerful than Kong Duo's. Break, break. Lu Ming growled in his heart. The Great Desolation Spear vibrated continuously. It vibrated hundreds of millions of times per second. This was also because the Great Desolation Spear was a Heaven Dao weapon and its material was amazing. If it was a normal Great Emperor weapon, it would have exploded into pieces after shaking so many times every second. Suddenly, the Great Desolation Spear trembled and the spear light exploded. A spear light pierced through the air and forced the two non-human kings back. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He had broken through. The battle symbol art had broken through the bottleneck and reached a whole new realm. Lu Ming activated the battle formula crazily. Boom! All of a sudden, Lu Ming felt an explosion in his body. An endless fighting spirit burst out from the depths of his body. Then, this fighting spirit turned into rolling power, causing Lu Ming's strength to soar in an instant. Bang! Lu Ming shook his spear and exchanged a blow with a king of the alien race. The king's body shook violently and he was sent flying tens of thousands of miles away. Damn it, his battle prowess. Why did it suddenly skyrocket? The non-human kings were all shocked. My battle strength, even Lu Ming himself was shocked. In that instant, Lu Ming realized that his combat strength had doubled. That's right, his overall combat strength had doubled, and it was all because he had activated the battle character. Fight, fight, fight. Lu Ming's fighting spirit was boundless. He kept waving the Great Desolation Spear, sending out rays of spear radiance that were 1,000,000 miles long, sweeping across the void. Bang! The smelting furnace that the non-human king had transformed into was sent flying by Lu Ming's whip. It crashed into the ground and exploded. Everything within a radius of 1,000,000 miles was reduced to ashes. Not a single blade of grass could grow. Let's work together. Don't split up. Let's attack together. One of the kings roared. The non-human kings didn't dare to split up. They all worked together, and every time they attacked together. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming blocked a few moves and his figure only retreated slightly. This was already an extremely terrifying thing. Previously, he had been at a disadvantage even when facing two demigods, and it had been rather difficult. But now, he was facing the joint attack of so many demigods, and he only retreated slightly. One could see how much his combat strength had improved. How is that possible? How is that possible? The non-human kings were all shocked and couldn't believe what they were seeing. What kind of monster was Lu Ming? He could actually increase his combat strength in a big battle. Most importantly, they did not discover that Lu Ming's cultivation had broken through. His cultivation had not broken through, but his combat strength had increased tremendously. What was going on? Boom! With a boom, the non-human king that had turned into a furnace returned to his original form and rushed out of the ground. He met up with the 6 demigods, and his eyes were extremely serious. I won't play with you guys today. Let's fight another day. Lu Ming laughed. He took a step forward and the space cracked. He wanted to tear the space apart and escape. Chapter 2538 Closed Door Cultivation. Lu Ming wanted to tear open space and leave, but the 7 demigods of the non-human race did not want to let him off so easily. Make him stay. I must kill him. The 7 demigods of the non-human race attacked Lu Ming one after another. The 7 attacks combined and headed for Lu Ming. A cold glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. With a shake of his body, he appeared in another direction. He swept the Great Desolation spear horizontally, shattering the void. The 7 non-human demigods hurriedly blocked Lu Ming's attack. However, Lu Ming appeared in another direction and shot out another spear. In the blink of an eye, both sides had exchanged dozens of moves. The non-human demigod could not do anything to Lu Ming. Boom! There was another loud boom as the two of them exchanged a blow. Lu Ming's figure retreated rapidly. Behind him, the space cracked open and Lu Ming rushed into it, disappearing. Damn it! The 7 non-human demigods' faces were ghastly, but they did not pursue him. They knew that they could not do anything to Lu Ming. I must report this to the Divine Ancestor. We must get rid of Lu Ming as soon as possible. A non-human demigod also left and headed toward the non-human sacred mountain. Lu Ming, on the other hand, traversed the void and headed for the heaven realm at top speed. It did not take long for Lu Ming to arrive at a battlefield outside Two World City. Now, the camp had been broken through and the battlefield was empty. Lu Ming waved his hand and 1,000-odd people from the eternal cage appeared on the battlefield. As soon as these people appeared, their heads began to spin around. Where is this place? Someone asked. This is the heaven realm. Lu Ming said. What? Heaven realm? Everyone was shocked. This place was actually the heaven realm. Did this not mean that Lu Ming had brought them from the evil god realm to the heaven realm? But how was that possible? They traveled through the long void and were in Lu Ming's small world. How could they be fine? Lu Ming could actually bring them from the evil god realm to the heaven realm. Such a miraculous method made them exclaim in admiration. Then we have escaped from the evil god world. When many people thought of this question, they were all ecstatic. They had been locked up in the eternal cage for far too long. Now that they were free, they were extremely excited. Lu Ming, thank you for your help. I'll remember this great kindness in my heart. If you need any help in the future, just ask. Me too. These people expressed their gratitude to Lu Ming one by one. Everyone from the prison suppression field, I have news for you. The ancestor dragon has brought the prison suppression field to the heaven realm. You can go to him. Lu Ming said. The prison suppression field was taken to the heaven realm. The people from the prison suppression field were also overjoyed. In this way, they could reunite with the people from the prison suppression field. Also, Lu Ming's gaze was directed in one direction. There were more than a dozen foreign races there, all of them at the Heavenly Emperor realm. Back then, Lu Ming had heard Qin Tsang say that these alien races were imprisoned in the eternal cage because they opposed the evil god race's attack on the heaven realm. Everyone, I'm afraid that a decisive battle will break out between the heaven realm and the evil god tribe in the near future. Where are you going to go? Lu Ming said. The expressions of the evil god tribe members changed, and they became very complicated. Although they were against the evil god race attacking the heaven realm, they couldn't help the heaven realm deal with the evil god race. Let's leave and find a place to live in seclusion, away from this mess. One of the evil god race members sighed. Alright, I'll help you remove this sealed armor. Lu Ming waved his hand and cast the way of the master, enveloping them. Those at the Heavenly Emperor realm and above wore blood-red armor that could seal one's cultivation base. However, with Lu Ming's current strength, he could easily remove these armors. Many thanks. More than 10 alien races cupped their fists at Lu Ming, then turned around and strode away. Then, Lu Ming removed the armors on the remaining people. Out of the remaining 1,000 or so people, at least 300 of them had the cultivation base of the Heavenly Emperor realm. This was an extremely shocking force. If he brought them back to the heaven realm, they would be of use in the future when they fought against the evil god race. Lu Ming put these people back into the small world. He then entered Two World City quietly and released them at a deserted place. These people thanked Lu Ming again and left one by one. The people from the prison guard field went to look for them. The living beings of the heaven realm had relatives and friends in the heaven realm. They had been locked up in the eternal cage for many years. This time, when they returned, they naturally had to visit their relatives and friends. As for Lu Ming, he had returned to the Dragon's Sovereign Peak alone. Lu Ming was standing against the wind on the peak of the Dragon's Sovereign Peak. Now, my combat strength has fallen back. Lu Ming frowned. Previously, he felt that his body was filled with battle strength, but now, he fell back down. Could it be because of the battle formula? Let's try again. Lu Ming thought of the battle formula and started to activate it. Previously, when he had a breakthrough in the battle symbol art, his battle power was stronger than before when he used his full strength, but it was not as exaggerated. It's useless. Lu Ming frowned. He did not give up and continued to activate the battle character formula. After activating it 7 or 8 times. Boom! Lu Ming's body seemed to be surging with endless power. A casual move of his was filled with terrifying combat strength. His combat strength had doubled. This. Is there still a chance? Lu Ming made a guess. Following that, Lu Ming continued to experiment and explore. Indeed, he discovered that there was a probability. He had to activate the battle character about 10 times before he could trigger it successfully once. His battle prowess would double. The success rate was about 1/10. However, even if it was only 1/10, Lu Ming was already ecstatic. At his current realm, there were too few secret skills that could allow him to burst out in combat power. At this critical moment, his combat strength suddenly doubled. It was extremely terrifying. He could turn the tables and kill his opponent. For example, if he hadn't triggered the doubling of his combat power in the Myriad World Cage, he probably wouldn't have been able to escape the siege of 7 non-human demigods. Moreover, Lu Ming felt that this was because he was not very familiar with the cultivation of the battle formula yet. As his understanding of the battle formula deepened, the probability of this happening would increase. In the end, it might reach a 100% trigger rate. In the future, as his understanding of the battle formula deepened, would he be able to trigger 3-fold or 4-fold increase in combat power? Lu Ming could not help but let his imagination run wild. Baiya said that the battle character is extremely shocking even in the primeval universe. Once it's exposed, it will attract countless experts to fight for it. It seems that he's not lying. Lu Ming only now realized how terrifying and shocking the battle formula was. Now that I've achieved a breakthrough in the battle symbol art, I should be able to break through the heavenly Daos obstruction with my current combat strength. I'll go into seclusion and try to break through to the heavenly emperor realm. Lu Ming muttered to himself, his eyes filled with anticipation. How strong would he be once he broke through to the heavenly emperor realm? Chapter 2539 Decisive Battle. Arrival. Immediately, Lu Ming set up a formation at the peak of the Dragon Emperor Peak. Then, he sat cross-legged and began to try to break through to the heavenly emperor realm. Of course, it was not that easy to break through to the heavenly emperor realm. He had to first adjust his state to its peak, and then consolidate the battle character formula before he could start the breakthrough. Lu Ming was immersed in a deep level of cultivation. Evil God World, Holy Mountain. A terrifying power suddenly erupted from the peak of the Holy Mountain. A supreme majesty spread out, and then a figure appeared in the sky. This figure was the non-human divine ancestor. Greetings, sacred ancestor. The non-human kings all bowed. At this moment, the non-human beings cultivating on the Holy Mountain were also alarmed. They woke up from their seclusion and flew out of the Holy Mountain to greet the non-human divine ancestor. Lu Ming is a huge variable. We can't wait any longer. I've almost recovered. It's time to level the heaven realm. The outsider divine ancestor said. "Am willing to die for the divine ancestor, greetings." All the non-humans bowed respectfully. "Gather all the experts of our tribe. Set off with the army and flatten the heaven realm." The non-human divine ancestor gave the order. "Yes, yes, your majesty." All the non-human kings acknowledged and left. "Murderer Xian, although you haven't fully recovered, you already have the combat strength of a martial god. We can't wait any longer. That Lu Ming must be eliminated." The foreign divine ancestor murmured. The battle in the eternal cage had truly shocked the non-human divine ancestor. Lu Ming's performance was beyond common sense. He had long recognized that Lu Ming had mastered the path of domination. Even in outer space, only a few peerless geniuses could master the path of domination. He was already shocked that Lu Ming could control it. However, Lu Ming's combat strength was even more terrifying. He was uneasy. Originally, he had wanted to wait for a while until Sacred Ancestor Bloodheart had fully recovered before attacking the Heaven Realm. However, he could not wait any longer. Who knew what level Lu Ming's cultivation would reach if they waited any longer? The entire evil god world was in chaos. Countless experts woke up from their seclusion and gathered in the 10 great imperial cities. The strange beast stepped in the air and roared like thunder. One by one, the experts whizzed past. The non-human race's 10 great imperial cities had countless experts gathered, forming a huge army. In the imperial city of the number 1 royal clan of the evil god tribe, the king of the number 1 royal clan was waiting respectfully outside an underground secret chamber. Kacha. The door of the secret chamber opened, and a slightly older royal member of the evil god tribe walked out. "Your son pays his respects to father." The king of the number 1 royal family immediately saluted respectfully. This elder from the evil god tribe was the king of the previous generation of the first royal family. He was an old demigod who had been in seclusion since the ancient battle. "Are we finally going to launch a general attack on the heavenly realm?" The old king muttered as his eyes flickered with a cold light. Not only did the first royal family have such a figure, but the other royal families also had such a figure. They were all old king tiers who had retreated, and they were all incomparably terrifying figures. At this moment, they all came out of seclusion. Evil god world, in a desolate land, there was an abyss. From above, it was pitch black and one couldn't see what was in the abyss. This was a famous forbidden area in the evil god world. Normally, no one would dare to step into it. At the bottom of the abyss, there were many members of the evil god tribe sitting cross-legged. The number was shocking, there were 100,000 of them. It was unknown how many years these evil god tribe members had been sitting here, and it was as if they had turned into stone statues. There were all sorts of races in the evil god race. There were ordinary evil god races, evil god aristocrats, and even royal races. At this moment, some of them suddenly opened their eyes. Their eyes shone with a bright light, and an extremely cold killing intent spread out. Buzz. Whoosh. Following that, the other members of the evil god tribe opened their eyes as well. One after another, powerful auras shot up into the sky and gathered together, causing the color of the heavens and earth to change. When the war begins, the heaven realm will be destroyed. Kill, kill, kill. Roars rang out from the abyss. After that, 100,000 members of the evil god tribe flew out of the abyss. This was a terrifying army. It was called the Sky-Breaking Army. Anyone who had experienced the ancient war would know how terrifying this army was. Back then, countless experts from the heaven realm had died under this army. The evil god race had turned out in full strength, and there were countless experts. In the lair of Zulong, where Zulong was in seclusion, a deafening dragon roar suddenly came out. A vast dragon might spread out and covered the entire lair of Zulong. Roar! A huge true dragon flew out and hovered above the lair of Zulong. It was the true body of the ancestral dragon. He had already sensed everything about the evil god tribe and had come out of seclusion ahead of time. In the lair of Zulong, countless experts who were in seclusion opened their eyes and flew out of their seclusion to stand in the air. The sky above the lair of Zulong was filled with people, each of whom had an astonishingly powerful aura. The final battle is coming. The evil god tribe has turned out in full strength and is going to attack the heaven realm. Sound the war drums. Send down the order. Tell everyone in the 9 nether heavenly domain, 10,000 spirit heavenly domain, and Hunyuan heavenly domain to retreat to the 2-world city. Well, use the 2-world city and the ruins of End City to defend against the evil god tribe. In addition, gather all the experts above Emperor to be in the heaven realm and the primordial realm. Head to 2-world city and gather in Return Bamboo City. The ancestral dragon gave several orders. Yes, yes, your majesty, everyone bowed respectfully, then turned into streaks of light and disappeared. Thump. 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 On this day, the deafening sound of war drums came from the lair of Zulong and spread throughout the heavenly realm. Is the final battle coming? At the bottom of a large lake, an old man with messy hair suddenly opened his eyes. The light in his eyes was like a divine sword that pierced through the sky. Then, he took a step and disappeared. A series of volcanoes and a phoenix's cry resounded through the firmament. I've been in seclusion for countless years. It's finally time for a battle. Buzz. A blazing phoenix soared into the sky and disappeared. A group of people charged into the sky from a vast mountain. The Song family has been in seclusion for many years. It's time for a battle, let's go. A voice rang out as a group of tall and sturdy experts soared into the air. Roar! Roar! Dragon roars came from the most famous Dragon Valley in the Tai Ching Heaven region. This was the gathering place of the true dragon clan, where most of the true dragons in the heaven realm gathered. At this moment, the true dragons spiraled up into the sky. Black dragon, snow dragon, blood dragon, fire dragon, white dragon, blue dragon, golden dragon. The different true dragons gathered together and formed an army of true dragons that flew toward the battlefield of the ultimate. In another place, countless sky tigers soared into the sky. In the phoenix nest, countless phoenixes were flying. On the Qilin peak, countless Qilin stepped into the air. At this moment, countless divine beasts and clans gathered in the Tai Ching heavenly region. They were heading for the battlefield of the sinkhole. This time, the divine beasts would be in charge of the sinkhole battlefield, while the humans would be in charge of 2-world city. The human race, regardless of their size, such as the Lan family, were all rushing to 2-world city. Chapter 2540 All-out war erupts. Countless major powers were rushing to 2-world city. In the face of a life-and-death battle in the heavenly realm, no one could stay out of it. Defeat meant death. The heaven realm powerhouses in the 9 serenities, 10,000 spirit, and Hunyuan heavenly domains also retreated to 2-world city. After all, the 2-world city had been in operation for many years and had set up countless formations. It would be easier for them to defend. If they were to defend the 9 levels of underground instead, their forces would be scattered and they would be defeated by the other party. The heavenly realm army gathered at the 2 battlefields and waited. A group of people stood in the void outside the lair of Zulong. Every single one of them was a terrifying expert. They were all unrivaled figures in the demigod realm. In the past, they had always been in closed-door cultivation, but now they had all come out. In front of them, there were 2 images. These 2 images could directly reflect the situation on the battlefield of the ruins of End and the battlefield of 2-world city. This was where they commanded and monitored the situation of the 2 battlefields. Dragon Sovereign Peak. The young master is still in seclusion. What should we do? Lei asked the others. The final battle is coming. We must participate in it. How about this? 2 of us will stay behind to protect the young master. The rest of us will go and participate in the battle. Earth One said. That's the only way. The others nodded. Not long after, a group of people flew out from the Dragon Emperor Peak. Those who were Emperor-to-be and above all flew to the 2-world city, leaving behind 2 heavenly Emperor-level figures. For example, Lu Xiangxiang, Ouyang Moli, Bubbles, Long Cheng, Huang Ling, and Desolate Li had all rushed to 2-world city. In addition, the primordial realm's large and small forces also transferred their powerhouses to the heaven realm to participate in the war through the void passageway. This was a life-and-death battle. Even if some forces didn't want to participate, they had no choice. If they didn't want to participate, they would be eliminated by other experts. In the sky above the Dragon Sovereign Peak, there was a flash and the figure of the ancestral dragon appeared. He sized Lu Ming up for a while and said softly, "You're about to break through. Lu Ming, I hope you can break through as soon as possible." After saying that, the ancestral dragon disappeared and reappeared outside the lair of Zulong, at the command center. Zulong, as the strongest person in the heaven realm, naturally had to sit here and command. In the evil god world, there were also some figures standing in the void. These were all non-human kings and old non-human kings. Of course, the one in the center was the non-human divine ancestor. In front of them, 2 pictures were floating in the air, showing 2-world city and returning bamboo city. At this moment, countless evil god tribes' army was heading toward the heaven realm through the spatial passageway. The void passage connecting the evil god world and the heaven realm was very wide and could accommodate many living beings at the same time. Send all the mutant beasts to attack returning bamboo city. The non-human divine ancestor gave the order. As soon as he gave the order, someone immediately used a voice transmission jade talisman and disappeared in a flash of light. Of course, this place was too far away from the heaven realm. The jade voice transmission talisman couldn't transmit that far in one go. However, they had messengers along the way. This voice transmission jade talisman flew to the next messenger, and this messenger continued to send voice transmissions to the next one. Just like that, it didn't take long for the news to reach the heavenly realm. There was a similar voice transmission route in the heavenly realm. The evil god tribe's army was split into 2 groups, and they charged toward returning Flame City and 2-world city. As time passed, the armies of both sides drew closer. The battlefield outside the city of returning ruins suddenly roared like thunder. Countless strange beasts from the evil god realm appeared and rushed toward the city of returning ruins. This kind of mutant beast also had 3 eyes, a huge body, extremely bloodthirsty and crazy, and its battle strength was also extremely shocking. Get ready. A voice came from returning bamboo city. Roar! Roar! All kinds of roars were heard, and countless divine beasts of the heavenly realm were ready to go. Boom! 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 Countless strange beasts of the evil god world, either running on the ground or stepping in the void, made a loud rumbling sound and rushed toward the city of the ruins of End. Boundless. It was truly boundless. He couldn't even see how many beasts there were. Activate the formation. Above returning bamboo city, a grand array glowed, and countless grand arrays appeared. The heaven realm had defended Giji city for countless years. They had set up all kinds of formations like iron. There were defensive types and also offensive types. Attack. When the evil god world's exotic beasts were a certain distance away from returning Flame City, someone gave the order. Whoosh! Whoosh! A dazzling light shone on returning Flame City. Countless attacks flew out toward the strange beasts of the evil god world. Pft! Pft! The evil god world's strange beasts were constantly killed, and blood and flesh flew everywhere. However, there were too many strange beasts from the evil god world. They were endless and surged toward the city of returning firmament like a tide. To the evil god tribe, these exotic beasts were nothing more than beasts. They didn't care about them at all. The evil god world's strange beasts were constantly being killed, but even more strange beasts were approaching returning flame city. Boom! Finally, the evil god tribe's strange beast reached the bottom of returning ruined city and slammed into the city's defensive array. At that moment, the entire city of returning ruins trembled. Kill! The divine beast army on Giji city kept attacking the strange beasts. At the same time, the city of the ruins of En's attack formation was also activated, and all kinds of attacks were launched at these strange beasts. A large number of strange beasts were killed, but those strange beasts were crazy and fearless. They crazily hit the defensive formation of the city of returning ruins. In fact, some of the beasts even chose to self-destruct. Boom! Boom! The city of the ruins of En's defensive array kept on rumbling, and the shaking became more and more intense. Some places finally couldn't withstand it and were torn apart. A large group of evil god world's exotic beasts charged into returning flame city. Kill! The army of divine beasts roared and attacked these strange beasts. The two sides met in close combat, and a tragic battle officially broke out. At that moment, countless evil god tribe armies appeared on the battlefield outside the two-world city. There were no mutant beasts here. They were all experts from the evil god tribe. Countless members of the evil god race were packed together, covering the sky and the sun as they charged towards the two-world city. Furthermore, there were all sorts of heavy siege weapons that crushed through the void as they sailed towards two-world city. Get ready! On the two-world city, the heavenly realm army began to prepare. The formation glowed, and all kinds of defensive formations were activated. The armies of both sides were getting closer and closer. Attack! The heaven realm side was the first to attack, and all sorts of attacks flew toward the evil god tribe's army. Set up the formation and defend. The evil god tribe's army was completely different from the strange beasts of the evil god world. They formed groups of 2 or 1,000 people and formed defensive formations. At the same time, they used defensive weapons to resist. The attacks from the heaven realm did not have much effect. Boom! 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 The evil god tribe's army continued to approach the two-world city. The heaven realm's army had limited destructive power against the evil god tribe. After all, it was a long-range attack, so its power was not particularly strong. Boom! Finally, the evil god tribe's army crashed into the two-world city's defensive formation and started to attack it. Chapter 2541, Final Battle, 1. The evil god tribe had sent in too many troops. It could be said that they had turned out in full strength. Moreover, the weakest of them were at the Emperor-to-be realm. There were at least tens of millions of Emperor-to-be evil god tribe members, millions of empty Emperor realm evil god tribe members, and hundreds of thousands of true Emperor realm members. Among them, there were tens of thousands of great emperors. What kind of terrifying power was this? Furthermore, the evil god race had great emperors as their generals, true emperors and void emperors as their backbones, and emperors-to-be as their soldiers. The power of the formations they had set up was even more shocking. This level of power was not something that the evil god tribe's previous attacks could compare to. In the past, only a portion of the evil god tribe's forces had attacked the two-world city. Now, they were going all out. Boom! 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 The defensive formation above the two-world city began to rumble and shake violently. If this continued, it would not be able to defend for long. Although the attack formation above the two-world city continued to attack and killed a portion of the evil god tribe, it was like a cup of water on a burning cart of firewood in the face of the endless tide of evil god tribe. Selah. Some of the defensive formations were torn apart. Once a hole was opened, it was like water bursting out of a dam. It was unstoppable. The defensive array formation continued to collapse, and more cracks appeared. Kill. Level the heaven realm. Kill. The endless evil god tribe members charged into the formation. Kill. The heaven realm experts also charged toward the evil god tribe, and an intense battle broke out between the two sides. However, neither side sent in any heavenly emperor powerhouses. The heavenly emperor realm was the core power of both sides. It was very crucial. If the evil god race did not make a move, the heaven realm would not make a move either. Otherwise, if they were to kill the evil god race below the heavenly emperor stage, they would expend their energy and be killed by the heavenly emperor instead. That would affect the battle situation. The battle in both Two World City and returning Ruin City became more and more intense. In the end, the defensive formations of the two cities completely collapsed. The powerhouses from both sides were fighting each other. Both sides added up to almost 100 million soldiers fighting. The scene was too shocking. The city walls of Two World City, which stretched for tens of millions of miles, were caught in the flames of war. Countless people were fighting, and their shouts shook the sky. Blood was everywhere. With my blood, I will exterminate the outsiders and exchange for peace in the heavenly realm. A middle-aged man from the heaven realm let out a long roar. He had the cultivation base of a great emperor. His long blade swept out in a mighty manner, splitting an evil god tribe's great emperor into two. However, on the other side, a destructive light pierced through and killed the human. Such situations were happening all over the battlefield. On the battlefield, the situation was constantly changing. At every moment, a large number of people were dying. Kill. Long Chen, Huang Li, Ouyang Wushuang, Lu Xiangxiang, Ouyang Moli, Huang Li, and the others gathered together and formed a formation. They swept out and killed the evil god race members one by one. They had all entered the Netherworld Island and had a fortuitous encounter, which greatly improved their cultivation. In the past 200 years, they had refined the life fruit that Lu Ming had given them, and their cultivation levels had increased explosively. Each of them had reached the peak Great Emperor realm. With so many of them working together and forming a formation, they were invincible. Wherever they went, evil god race members were killed. Not long after, they had already killed over 1,000 members of the evil god race. In the evil god world, the non-human sacred ancestor and the kings were all watching. Their faces were calm and unruffled. To them, no matter how many members of the evil god race who were below the heavenly emperor level died, they would not care. What they cared about was whether they could finally level the heaven realm and successfully split open the sky. This was related to their future. They didn't care about the exotic beasts in particular. On the battlefield of the ruins of End, the fighting was even more intense. The strange beasts of the evil god tribe and the divine beasts of the heaven realm were fighting here. The evil god tribe's strange beasts were extremely crazy and fearless. They also caused the divine beasts in the heaven realm to suffer heavy losses. Form the divine beast formation. A voice rang out on the battlefield. Roar! Roar! The roars of dragons could be heard as the true dragons of the True Dragon clan began to gather and combine together to form a large formation. They turned into a terrifying true dragon with a shocking aura that swept in all directions. With a single roar, a large number of strange beasts were killed. At the same time, the Phoenix race, Qilin race, Heavenly Tiger race, Sacred Ox race, and the others all formed a huge formation, turning into huge phoenixes, Qilin, and heavenly tigers. Their power rose sharply, and in an instant, a large number of the evil god race's beasts were killed. The battlefield of the ruins of End, send out the giant whisker race. The non-human divine ancestor ordered. Yes. Someone immediately spread the news. Boom. 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 In front of returning Bamboo City, the earth rumbled, and giant creatures appeared at the end of the world. It was an extremely huge creature covered in black scales. There were many huge tentacles on its body, which looked like the tentacles of an octopus. There was also a third eye in the center of their brows. This was the giant whisker race of the evil god race. These living beings were extremely rare in the evil god race. However, when they matured, their bodies would be astonishingly huge. When they stood on the ground, they would truly be able to support the heavens and earth. If Lu Ming were here, he would definitely be able to recognize that the passageway guarded by the Titan longhorn beetle was attacked by this kind of creature. Boom! Boom! The giant beard clansman stomped on the ground. With every step he took, the ground would explode and crack. A terrifying aura covered the sky and earth, sweeping in all directions. The giant whisker race, the true dragon race, the Chilan race, and the phoenix race formed a huge formation and started to fight. It made the battle in the city of returning ruins even more intense. Two World City, send out the Heavenly Emperor assassins. The non-human divine ancestor ordered. Yes. Someone immediately spread the news. Outside the Two World City, the four-armed members of the evil god tribe disappeared in a flash. They mixed into the crowd of evil god tribe members and charged towards the heaven realm cultivators. The speed of these short and small evil god race members was too fast. They were natural assassins, and their cultivation was at the heavenly emperor realm. The moment they moved, the ancestral dragon noticed them immediately. Send out heavenly emperor powerhouses who are known for their speed to stop the evil god tribe's assassin clan. Zhu Long ordered. The news immediately spread to the battlefield. It's my turn, chirp chirp. Behind the Two World City were the celestial thearchs of the heaven realm, and Bubbles was among them. At that moment, Bubbles cried out excitedly and in a flash, she charged out. The Bubbles' speed was extremely fast. The moment it charged out, it was already on the battlefield. Wherever she passed by, a terrifying spacetime power would envelop the bodies of some of the evil god tribe members. The bodies of these evil god tribe members would immediately age and shrivel up before finally turning into skeletons, as if they had been deprived of their time. Whoosh! All of a sudden, saber light burst forth. A short, four-armed evil god clansman slashed the four sharp blades in his hands toward Bubbles with extreme speed. Experts of the same level would not be able to keep up with the speed of the evil god race. However, he ran into Bubbles. I've already discovered you, Chirpy. Bubbles pouted and dodged the opponent's attack with a flash. Then, he suddenly appeared behind the opponent and with a wave of his hand, he plucked off the opponent's head. Chapter 25-42 Final Battle, 2, after killing a heavenly emperor from the evil god tribes Sin tribe with ease, her body flickered and she appeared tens of thousands of miles away. She then pressed her hands forward. In the area in front of her, everything seemed to have stopped. The heaven realm and evil god tribes experts who were in the middle of a battle were forbidden from not moving. At the same time, a figure suddenly appeared in the originally empty void. It was a four-armed evil god tribe member. At this moment, the face of the evil god tribe member was filled with shock and horror. He had been hiding in the void, trying to sinate the heaven realm's powerhouses, but he had been forced out of the void by Bubbles. Moreover, his entire body had been confined by a powerful force, rendering him unable to move. Whoosh! As the bubble charged past, the evil god tribe member's body was turned into dust. Whoosh! 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 However, in the next moment, a series of sharp radiances shot out from all directions towards Pow Pow with frightening speed and power. Ill retreat. Even though Bubbles retreated rapidly, there was also a terrifying blade slashing towards her from behind. It was obvious that the other party had seen through Bubbles' threat and had sent a few experts to attack her in an attempt to get rid of her. Pfft. Bubbles' body was cut into two, then turned into dust and dissipated. Following that, a few short evil god tribesmen appeared in the sky. Their expressions were grave as they looked around. Gotcha. All of a sudden, cracks appeared in the SPCE around them. Then, the SPCE started to twist and turn into a cage that trapped the short evil god race members. Not good, break. One of the evil god race members howled as a few of them attacked together. In their hands, they were all holding curved blades that were astonishingly sharp. With a casual slash of their blades, they could easily slice apart SPCE. However, they were unable to cut through the SPCE that was created by Bubbles. Their weapons slashed at the surrounding SPCE, causing it to ripple like water, but it quickly returned to its original state. Time reversal, you're courting death. Pow Pow muttered softly as she waved her hands continuously. A mysterious aura enveloped the few members of the evil god race. A shocking scene appeared. The auras of the evil god tribe members were rapidly weakening, and their appearances were also changing rapidly. At first, the few members of the evil god tribe looked middle-aged. However, they were now looking younger and younger. They started to look like young men, and then they looked like teenagers. At the same time, their cultivation was also declining. In the beginning, it was the Heavenly Emperor realm, then the Great Emperor realm, the True Emperor realm, the Void Emperor realm, and finally, it fell back to the Martial Sage realm. This was an extremely terrifying Divink ability that could turn back time for the enemy and return them to when their cultivation base was still weak. To Bubbles, Martial Sages could be killed with a flip of her hand. Bubbles pressed down with her small hands, and a few evil god tribe members turned into ashes. Just like that, a few Heavenly Emperor stage evil god race members were killed by Bubbles. After Bubbles reached the Heavenly Emperor stage, her abilities became more and more wondrous. Her combat strength grew stronger and stronger. No one of the same level as her was a match for her. At this moment, on the other side, Huang Ling, Long Chen, Huang Li and the others were in danger. They formed a formation and attacked the evil god race continuously. Naturally, they attracted the attention of the other party. There were already some short evil god race members who had their eyes on them. Chi chi chi. The terrifyingly sharp saber light suddenly slashed towards Huang Ling and the others with shocking power. Not good, it's a Heavenly Emperor realm powerhouse. Their expressions changed drastically. Although they were all at the peak of the Great Emperor realm, they were still far from the Heavenly Emperor realm. They formed a large formation and worked together. A huge shield was formed and blocked above. Gotcha. A sharp, car-piercing sound rang out as the blade light struck the shield. Cracks immediately appeared on the shield before it exploded. Go to HELL. In SPACE, a short evil god tribe member appeared. His face was ferocious and filled with killing intent. The weapons in his forearms slashed towards Huang Ling and the others once again. Kill. Kill. Die. Huang Ling, Long Chen, and the others roared and attacked with all their might. They used their trump cards. However, they were still too far away from the Heavenly Emperor. Moreover, this short and small evil god race member was not an ordinary one-star Heavenly Emperor, but a two-star Heavenly Emperor. Bang. 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 Explosions rang out continuously as the attacks of Huang Ling and the others were destroyed by the short evil god race. The incomparably sharp saber light continued to slash towards them, wanting to kill them. At this moment, the cry of a phoenix rang out. Huang Ling's entire body was bathed flames, and she seemed to have turned into an undying celestial phoenix. She soared up into the sky and pounced toward the evil god tribe's celestial thearch's attack. Not good. The expressions of Long Chen, Huang Ling, Lu Xiangxiang, and the others changed drastically. Pft! Huang Ling was hit. Her body flew over and turned back into human form. Her delicate body was almost cut in half, but there was a layer of mysterious aura on her body. Her body was quickly recovering. It was the indestructible ancient scroll. When Lu Ming first obtained the indestructible ancient scroll, it was a trace of the heaven's path mark left by the undying venerable emperor. When his cultivation was still weak, he could not inscribe it at all and he could not pass it on to others. However, when Lu Ming came out of Netherworld Mountain, his cultivation level was high enough to inscribe it. Lu Ming inscribed the indestructible ancient scroll and sent bubbles to Dandan, Feng Ling, Long Chen, Lu Xiangxiang. As long they were on good terms with Lu Ming, he would pass on the indestructible ancient scroll to them just so that they could face this great battle. Everyone had cultivated the indestructible ancient scroll for hundreds of years, and they were already well versed in it. Furthermore, Huang Ling had consumed the fruit of life before. The medicinal effects of the fruit of life still remained in her blood. Although she was severely injured, she was not dead yet and was recovering rapidly. "You're a great emperor, but you're still alive after being hit by me. Let's see how many moves you can take." The short evil god race member was stunned at first, but he revealed a ferocious killing intent and was about to attack Huang Ling and the others again. However, just as he was about to make a move, he realized that he could not move his body. "No," he roared before his body exploded into ashes. A figure appeared behind him and it was Bubbles. Bubble. Lu Xiangxiang and the others were overjoyed to see the Bubbles. "Let's join forces," said Pao Pao. She then joined forces with Huang Ling, Lu Xiangxiang and the rest to fight the alien races. On the other side of the battlefield, the fighting was even more intense. This kind of short and small evil god race was simply too fast. They flickered within the army, and the Heaven Realm experts were constantly being killed. Fortunately, there were also Heavenly Emperor Realm Masters who were good at speed and assassination in the Heaven Realm. They arrived in time and killed each other. The helmsmen of both sides saw all of this. The evil god world, the non-human race's divine ancestor, and the various kings all saw Bubbles' performance. Another SPACE times Spirit Mouse. In the battle that year, the SPCE times Spirit Mouse caused great losses to our army. The number one king spoke, his voice icy cold. Fortunately, this SPCE times Spirit Mouse hasn't reached its peak yet. It's not strong. Another King Tyr said, "You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure."